Check 1 2 1 2. Yeah, baby. Yeah. I said, but he tapped in right now? Yes, sir. I see him tapped in. I see you tapped in. Check 1 2 1 2. Let me find my volume right here. Check 1 2. That's not it. Check 1. Oh, there it is. That's my guy right there. Check 1 2 1 2. Okay. There we go. Sheesh. First podcast 2025. Let me see. Hold on. Let me get this right real quick. Let me get this new. Yeah, that's it. That's it. All right. I got one question to ask. I got one question to ask for 2025. Casey, is it game time?
It's game time.
Well, let's get this shit popping, baby.
Are you really ready for some super?
Yeah, we. Chop City, baby. New beat for 2025. Let's see what it do. Okay, Chop City, let's go. Oh, we doing it like that, Chop City? Whoo! Some Mediterranean stuff, dog. You know what I mean? Sheesh. Gonna play that little thing. Okay. Welcome to Hoodstock's first podcast of the year.
Yeah, come on, y'all.
Chop City really bugging out on this one right here. I said, when you tap it in, yes, sir, hit that like, hit that subscribe, all that good shit. Yeah. I like it. But I like this one right here better, man. This one like just got the pop to it. It's got the pop to it. It's got the vibration for 2025. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. That's it right there. There we go. Welcome to Hoodstocks, man, and Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year, man. Happy New Year. New Year, new me. That's what I like to say, huh? New Year, new me. Then we get to the end of the year and we realize how that worked out. Sometimes that doesn't always work out. New year, new me. The gyms are packed right now.
Yeah, they are.
They're packed,
yes.
Bro. Everybody's got a gym membership right now.
All those resolutions.
I was in the gym today, and I said, God damn it, I almost had an overload of spandex, bro. I just started buffering, bro. Buffering, spandex everywhere. I just like, too much spandex, bro. Then one of my eyes pulled a muscle because I was just staring too hard, bro. Last time I stared too hard, I got banned from the gym, bro. I said, oh, that's the pervert right there. That's lucky right there. Yeah, no, never. I want to give a big welcome back, Casey, baby. Our dog, Casey. Pepita's back. Pepita. Hey, my dog.
Here I am. I bet you guys couldn't believe it.
The GOAT is back, man. Shaq and Kobe is back. Glad to have you back, brother.
It feels great to be back. I cleaned up my desk and it's looking like how I left it.
Yes, sir. Nice and clean.
Nice and clean and organized.
And organized. Absolutely, brother. Good to have you back, man.
Feels great.
Yeah, absolutely, dog. All right, man. Today we got a very, very special guest, man. This dude is a Harbor area it's just legend, man. I mean, if you're from the Harbor area and you don't know this man right here, you don't recognize this man, we'll just say if you don't recognize this man, but if you have the privilege to meet this man, then obviously you know the man. But if you're from Harbor area and you don't know this man, the Pop, you know what I mean? Then you might not be from the Harbor area. I'd say that, you know what I mean? You know?
You're going to get a lot of people saying, who is that guy?
Yeah, of course, bro. Of course. Even if they know you. They're like, I've never met him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if they know of you, right? Because that's just the way, you know, we're assholes, bro. You know what I mean? It's in our DNA, bro. It's in our tribal nature. You know what I mean? To be fucking assholes. You know? 1 minute we love you, the next minute, you know what I mean? I want everybody to give a warm welcome. Harbor area's finest, baby. OG in the game, man. Been out here on the streets representing, you know, real strong for the HA and just for the, you know, the Chicano community, period. You know what I mean? I want everybody to raise up off your motherfucking futons, baby, and give it up for MC Poncho, baby. Let's go.
Thank you, Lucky. Thank you. It's an honor to be here, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. Absolutely. We've been talking about this for a cool minute.
Yes, God. But about a year and a half,
yes.
we talked about it, and
then we connected, and we'll talk about how we connected.
Yeah, that was
like it was like a divine intervention.
No, that's real. Yeah, definitely.
It was. You know what? It was crazy. Well, we should talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Yeah. So I'll say this. I'll start it off like this. I said I gotta pop this year off the right way. You know, I gotta really give him something. You know what I mean? And just kind of like just floating around with my thoughts and this and that and slept on it. And then bam, woke up and you were on my mind, bro. You know what I mean? I said, I gotta do this. I gotta get this shit. Let me reach out to the homie. Bop, 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 bop. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? It hits you on the phone line and you're like.
Well, because I was going to message you and tell you Happy New Year's. And then I got your message, and I'm like, wait, that's kind of, you know, because I was thinking about you, and that's on the real, you know what I mean? So I was thinking about you, and I was like, man, I gotta wish him a Happy New Year. And then I got your message, and then I was like, wow, we got to do this. You know what I mean? And you hadn't even said, you just said, you know, Happy New Year's, hope everything's good, and you know, you didn't say anything about doing this. And then when you hit me with that, or you said when you're ready to do this, you know, and I'm like, well, let's do it now.
Sheesh.
Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And bam, here we are now. And you're like, bro, I ain't done a podcast and whoop. And I wasn't thinking about doing a podcast, but lucky I'm going to do yours. You know what I mean?
And I hadn't, you know what I mean? And I want to clarify something, because there's one that's going around that's recently was posted yesterday. And I did that a couple of months back with my dear friend Icon. Shout out to Icon. And he released it yesterday. And I honestly thought he was sleeping on it. So I hold you responsible for that, because you get people on their toes. He's seen that I was going to come and do this, and he's like, oh, no, I got to edit this. I got to get this out. And he did. I thought he was going to wait till I died so it'd be worth some money. You know what I mean? But he put it out, and you kept me on my toes because I didn't go out last night. You know what I mean? Normally I'll go out, and I wanted to give you the full, you know, 113% of me. So I went to bed early. I didn't drink last night, and I'm ready to give you a complete different story than what's out there right now. And my most, you know, whatever you want to ask, you know, as long as I'm at liberty to talk about it, let's do it.
You know what, bro? So, well, let's speak on that interview that all of a sudden out of nowhere popped up, bro. I was like, what the? I was like, damn. I was like, I had to like, because I'm just like I'm a funny dude in the sense of this. Like, initial reaction might not be the right reaction. You feel me? So the initial reaction was like, what the fuck, dog? Like, did MC Poncho just go bust this motherfucking interview right before Hood starts? You know what I mean? And then I had to talk to myself. Like, look, calm your punk ass down, bro. Who the fuck you think you are? And then I'm talking back to myself. Homie, you know who the fuck I am? You know what I mean?
Well, it made me look like, you know, because I'm over here talking about I haven't done this in a while, and then all of a sudden I have one out. You know what I mean? So now I'm you know, I'm the popular guy. I mean, thank you both for that. I thank you both, you know what I mean? Because it worked in my advantage, but only thing I'm not promoting or selling anything right now, you know.
Well, let's and I'm not gonna give it. I don't want to give it too much energy, bro. But I want to switch it around. I want to switch it around. If I was LA Icon and LA Icon was me, you know what I mean? You know, and all of a sudden I seen that I seen that Hoodstocks was gonna do an interview with MC Poncho, and I had prior done an interview with MC Poncho 2 months before, and I'm sitting on this interview. You know what I mean? Now, honestly, bro, my thought process would be this. You know what I mean? My thought process, the tables would turn, would be just like, it wouldn't be like, oh shit, I gotta edit this shit and put it out before fucking Hoodstocks. You know what I mean? That wouldn't be, because that's just not the way I am, bro. That's kind of weird, bro. You know what I mean? But it's okay, to each his own, dog. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to, yeah, I fuck with LA Icon, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, it's pretty fucking comedy, bro, that he had to see it, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna release this a day before, you know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. You know what I mean? Let it breathe for a minute. Do what you keep the same energies as you had before. But he's gonna be like, well, I was planning on dropping it, and then you guys popped up. You know, anyways, it's all good though, bro. We doing right here at Hoodstock. Salute to the interview. I watched a little bit, bro. It was a good interview, bro.
Thank you.
It was a good interview. You know what I mean? I'm gonna
Thank you.
talk shit, but then at the same time, I'm gonna turn around and say, hey, it was a cool interview, dog.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't want to watch too much of it because I'm gonna sit with you right now.
Right.
And we gonna do this shit, you know? But it's good to see you, brother.
You too.
How was last year coming into this new year?
Well, I mean, every year I get older, so I should be slowing down. I'm 54 right now.
Yeah.
But we just keep going, you know what I mean? And it's just like more events and shows just keep added, you know? So every year, I can't tell you how many times I've retired and said I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm just going to stick to my day job, which is a longshoreman. But then I end up booking shows, and, you know, I stay busy. So it's been a good year. To answer that, it's been a great year. I'm blessed.
So people from outside looking in, bro, it looks like people pay you to come to their establishment or event, establishment/event, and basically to party, bro. Have a good time.
So that's what it looks like. And
Okay.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I don't get paid to do that. I do that out of love. I buy bottles, and you know, I know one of you guys, Killer Dogs, comes to a lot of the events, and he knows. He sees me spend. So I don't get comped. I do get comped when I'm hosting sometimes, but the majority of the time I end up paying more money out of pocket than anything. I do that on the love. And when I show up to events, when I show up to fundraisers, when I show up to any of that, I don't get paid. Now, if I didn't have my day job, then I'd be pimping the hell out of myself and selling myself.
Okay.
Okay, but the day job is what pays that.
So you
and I tell the majority of these promoters, I go, you can't pay me what I'm gonna miss on a day's pay on the weekend. You know, so no, I don't get paid. I do not. The majority I don't. Damn. One that I will say that pays me, and he shouldn't, because that's like my brother, is Sam Torres Empire, and he breaks me off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like, I'm going to have you host if you're not going to get paid. And that's one that I numerously times have, no, I don't want to take your money.
But he still gives it to you.
Yeah.
Of course, bro, because he values your time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that the other ones don't value your time, but shit, if like my favorite number is free, dog.
Yeah.
You
You get a lot of individuals these days.
I'm a Jew, bro. Yes. I'm a Jew, dog.
You get a lot of people these days, Lucky, that think they're above, I don't even know what you want to call it, that they come into a club, they should be comped a bottle, and they should be paid. And these are people that, I don't even think that. Yeah. I don't go in there with that attitude. You know what I mean? Or they want a shout out on the mic. You know what I mean? I try to hide. I try to blend in sometimes, but it's kind of hard with this face. You know what I mean?
You know, the only time that I'll ever ask for a shout out on a mic that I noticed, well, the times that I have asked out is when I'm on cocaine. You know what I mean? When I got the periques in me, bro. Because for some reason,
the majority of them are on cocaine then.
Because for some reason,
just answer that for me.
Yeah, because for some reason, dog, you know what I mean? I just want the attention. I'm on the prowl, dog. You know what I mean? I smell blood, homie. You know what I mean? And I need motherfuckers to know I'm right here, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But around that, bro.
That might have been me at one time, and I guess once I got it and I see the good and the bad that comes with it, I just, you know, if it's an event, I'm just in there to do my thing, and that's pretty much it, you know.
Good for you, bro. And
Thank you.
That, in other words, that means just say you just support the culture, man. You love the culture. You love the it's the Chicano community we're talking about, right?
The majority, yes.
The majority,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Brennan Wood just passed away.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Chicano community, because he is a part of the Chicano community, would that be safe to say?
Yeah, I mean, Brennan Wood's a homie. He's from where I'm from. He's from Pedro.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, I met him through my mom and dad.
Real shit?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Oh, damn.
definitely. Yeah. I met him at a spot called Jesse's Record Store in Pedro. Those of you know. And God, I think I was like 10 or 11 years old when I met him.
How? 10,
Well, I met
11
him,
years old?
I met him through my mom. I take that
Okay.
back because my dad was gone already. Yeah. Yeah. But he was a dear friend of my mom and dad's.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
What kind of dude? What kind of OG was he?
I mean, he grew up in the projects in Rancho, you know what I mean? So he was from there, real down to earth, spoke a lot of Chicano slang. And I guess later on he moved to Compton, and that's where he graduated from.
Yeah.
But he originated from Pedro. I want to say, I think he came from Mississippi, settled in Pedro, and then from there went to Compton. You know, but he always came back. He always came back to Pedro.
Okay. So that's his
Yeah,
hometown.
yeah. Beautiful
Pedro.
person. Beautiful person.
Well, rest in peace.
Yeah, yeah. Rest in peace.
Condolences to his family as well.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, pop. We're kind of just bouncing around, shooting the breeze a little bit. So coming into this new year, like you said, I'm always gonna retire, but damn, you know what I mean? You know, the streets are calling me. People love me. People love you, bro.
Thank you. That's good. I better be loved than hated. You know what I mean? Which I get both. But thank you.
Everywhere you go, man. You know, you just like there's individuals, bro, that think they're like that think their staples are. What is the definition of an icon? Like an icon, bro. What is the definition of an icon? What's your definition of an icon?
I guess an icon is somebody that maybe started a. Well, I might be wrong. Okay, maybe a trend, and they're up there in that whatever that trend is.
Like a major fixture in a section.
We could say that.
I don't know if fixture is a respectful word or not. I mean, it's a fixture, right? I mean,
I wouldn't be an icon because I'm not a. I guess an icon would be like what you and I would call an OG, okay?
Yeah.
Which I don't even really use that word because I'm not an OG. I follow. You know what I mean? I've been following something since day one. You know what I mean? So an OG would be one that would perfect it, started it.
Has great
You know what I mean?
influence.
Thank you. There it is.
has great influence.
Yeah.
Okay. No, for sure.
So no, I'm not. I'm a bad influencer on that. So.
I guess that word is up for interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that because I think it can be interpreted a bunch of different ways. But I respect the way you say it. I think, but I'll say this, bro. I'll say this. I asked that to say this. You know what I mean? Basically, you're just one of them dudes, bro, from the city, bro, a certain section of the city, bro, that people know this face. People know this man. If not, they know this face. And you get a lot of love and respect, you know what I mean? And people love when you're around. We talked about that a little bit already, right? You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Yeah, you said better be loved than hated.
Yeah.
You know? And you've been in this game for a long time, bro. You've been around for a long time. You've been doing your thing for a long time, you know? And I like today, brother, this evening, I'd like to get into your story, you know what I mean? So we know, for the people that don't know, we know the story behind this tattooed man, you know? Fucking, that shit's cool, bro. I like it.
Thank you.
I really want to do that myself, but then it was going to say I'm biting Poncho.
I'll be
bro.
honest with you. Look, I started growing it, and I just didn't know what to do with it, so I started waxing it. And
That shit is tight, bro.
people were comparing me to that Salvador Dali, and I'm like, all right, thank you, but honestly, I just, I was growing it. It got real thick. I looked older than what I am, so I go, no, maybe, and I didn't want to cut it. So I started waxing it.
I seen young pictures of you, bro, and you seem
I looked
like
old then. I looked old then in the young pictures.
But I want to say I've seen young pictures of you, and you've always been about your style, homie.
I get that from my mom and dad. Yeah, thank you.
We're gonna get into that.
Now, those would be OGs, if we want to call them that.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I misused the word a little bit then, you know what I mean? But I get what you're saying, in the sense of using the word OGs, you know what I mean? Were you born and raised in Pedro?
Yes.
You from the ranch, huh?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I got a lot of boys from the ranch I done time with, bro. Good dudes, bro. I want to name one of them right now, but I'll just leave it off. We'll talk off camera and shit, dog. One of my dogs, man. How was it growing up in San Pedro, brother?
I mean, I was born in 1970. My brother, was my influence. So, I mean, that era, I would just see a bunch of white T-shirts, Schlitz Malt Liquor Bull, Thunderbird and Night Train, all over the front of the yard, and I wanted to follow that. You know what I mean? I would watch them. You know what I mean? I wanted to be like my brother, my older brother.
What's the
Age
siblings? How many siblings you got?
That he was the only one.
Older
So
brother.
I was a mistake. My mom had my brother at 16.
Yeah.
And then she had me 16 years later. You know, so we were a big, a big gap.
Wow, that's a big
Yeah.
gap. But why would you say a mistake, bro?
Because she would tell me that.
Okay.
Well, I was straight up. You're like, you were supposed to happen. You know, and I'm like, yeah, I guess, you're right.
Bro, I wanna say something. So I have two daughters that are almost a year apart, and I wouldn't say the first one was planned and the second one wasn't planned because neither of them were planned. But the second one, bro, we were on the verge of kind of getting the. She just had the getting the what do you call that shit to the. She don't get pregnant, homie. What do you call that, killer dog? The shit you on, bro? What is it?
UED
Birth
or some
control.
birth control?
Thank you, birth control.
So you're saying, yeah.
Birth control.
Okay.
And she was supposed to get birth control, and then bop. We remember the exact night that she got pregnant with the second one. You know what I mean? But and she wasn't a mistake. But anyways, go ahead, bro. Sorry, dog.
No, that's okay.
Yeah. 16 years apart. Mom says
16 years apart.
Same pops?
Yeah, same dad. Except my mother was upset with my dad during the time she gave birth to my brother. So he went under her maiden name. So that's what everybody would trip out because we had two different last names. But I was like, no, that's my. We got the same dad. We look alike, So yeah.
Okay. Same pop. 16 years later.
16 years later, I'm 7, 8 years old, and I'm, trying to be like him, follow him.
What was your brother? You looked up to your brother. You're talking about being like him, right?
Yeah, well, my brother was from the ranch. He was a homie. I mean, I looked up to him, for I guess we'd say the wrong reasons. I mean, I remember the first time I heard Natural High, I was in his apartment and everybody was in there getting loaded. I could tell you, like, I could see it. That 45 was on the stacked up and it just dropped. And I heard that song and I was like, fuck, what is that? And I'm a young kid. I mean, I'm 6, 7, whatever year that song came out by Bloodstone. And I just heard, I could go back there right now. And I heard it. Then I was wondering what they were doing. They had a bunch of balloons in there, and I'm doing water balloons, and they're bagging shit up. You know what I mean? So I'm seeing stuff at an early age. Tattooing on. I remember he got RSP on his chest, and I was right there just watching it. Your
brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I go home and tell my mom. Mom, you know what I saw? You ain't going back over there. You ain't going back over. But I wanted to. You know what I mean? And then I remember one time. I had those little slugger bats, the Dodger ones, the real little miniature ones, and I wrote RSP on it. And I wrote it like in small letters rather than capital. And I remember I thought he'd be, happy, but instead he was like, you didn't even do it right. You know what I mean? And, he was more upset with me for doing that. So Pancho actually comes from my brother. You know what I mean? My name ain't Francisco, it's Frank. I took his name because it's a long story, but we had a neighbor that her name was Panchita, and she called my brother Pancho. So I went under Little Pancho when he passed. So that's how I got the name. Okay. So everybody trips out like, oh, Frank Pancho. I'm like, no, not quite. I took it after my brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your brother passed?
My brother passed of a heroin overdose on Mother's Day.
Mother's Day.
Yeah.
How old was it? My condolences, brother.
Thank you. 22.
22, wow.
So a lot of the stuff that I do today, I live for him. I mean, he chose that life. His life was, his famous quote was "Mi vida loca." He when my mom found out he was using, that's all he said, "Mi vida loca." That's it. And I feel that he was cheated out of life, even though he chose that life and went too soon. So I live my life for him. You know what I mean? I dedicate it to him, as I do my mom and dad as well.
How was the household dynamics within moms and pops? Were they blue collar working individuals? What did they do for a living, bro?
Well, my dad, back in the days, my dad was a professional boxer.
Oh.
Then he enlisted in the Army during the time of Korea. So he went into the Army, took 4 bullets, 1 in each arm, 1 in each leg, highly decorated, Silver Star, Purple Heart. Came back and started working, and eventually became a longshoreman. So blue collar, as you would say.
Yeah.
you know. So he, you know, supported us, and but he was a player, you know. He got around. So my mom would always tell me, like, when I would start dating, like, you know, who are you dating? Who's a girl? Make sure that ain't your sister, because it might be your sister. I had a rough mother that would,
She was real about it.
Yeah.
She was real about it. Yeah, you got to respect that, but at the same time, that's for real.
Yeah, no, that was real.
Because San Pedro isn't I mean, it's not a big section, right?
It's not too big. I mean, you know,
it's decent size.
Yeah. You know, the 110 till it ends. You take the 110 all the way south, you know, till it ends.
110 till it ends. How's it going right there, bro? In that section of the harbor area.
Oh, it's beautiful, man. I'm still there. I'm still in the same house where I was raised. So
that's awesome.
I mean, it's changed a lot, you know. But you know, Pedro has always been the type where you would just mention a family name, and you already knew who, you know, who is that you're talking to? Oh, I know the mother, or I know the uncle, or I know the grandparents, you know. And it's kind of changed a little bit since, but.
Tight-knit community?
It still is. It still is, yeah.
There's still a lot
the
of
foundation is Mexican, you know, Croatian, Italian, you know, Sicilian. Yeah, I'm proud to be from there. I mean, I put it out there. I love my city.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I didn't mention any other ethnic backgrounds, but, you know, we're all together. It's all Pedro.
Yeah, no, for sure, bro. I mean, it's something about... anytime I'm in the harbor area, even in that section right there, man, you know what I mean? It's just something in that air, man. I think it's the salt in the air, man.
That's what we say, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've never heard you say it, but I'm just,
yeah,
you know
we do. We say that.
It's the salt
we say
in the
that.
air?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Motherfuckers have just made a little different around, the harbor area.
Thank you, and that's beautiful to hear.
Yeah, no, for sure, dog. Yeah, man, I got a lot of bros across the harbor area, bro. You know what I mean? That I fuck with, bro, to this day. You know, a lot of love for harbor area, man. And so, like growing up in that section, like, I mean, well, let's talk about this real quick, bro. They took out I wanted to talk about gentrification. I'm sorry. So has gentrification hit San Pedro?
No, because the property is so expensive. So I guess what they do in gentrification, what my knowledge is, you know, they'll buy something that's real cheap and then rebuild it and make it up. Pedro's, to own a house in Pedro, they always say it's like hitting 5 numbers out of the lotto. You know what I mean? The property's ridiculous. Like, I can move to the IE, I can move out to Moreno Valley, I can move out to another section and get a good size, you know, home.
If you sold your crib.
Yeah, you know, I'm holding on to a 2-bedroom, 1-bath right there, you know, but that's home.
Yeah.
You know.
And so, but obviously as the time goes.
So gentrification, no, if they were to make an offer, I mean, I don't see how they would, you know.
So the old community is still there?
Yeah. The lot of these houses is ridiculous, you know, just a lot, you know, without looking at like what I've done to my house, you know, the remodeling. It's just a lot that's, you know, what's the value.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, real estate in general, bro.
Yeah.
It's freaking bananas, you know what I mean, right now.
Yeah.
I can't even afford to live in my neighborhood, bro. You know what I mean? Highland Park, Northeast Los Angeles, bro. Cannot afford, man. A little shack, bro, is like $700,000.
Wow.
You know, it's crazy, man. But so growing up in Pedro, man, you know what I mean? You had you know, pops, longshoreman, you know, served. Shit. Thank you for his service.
Thank you.
Moms, was she like a stay-at-home mom?
My mom, yeah. Well, it didn't last long. My father died when I was 9, and my brother died when I was 8.
Wow.
So, you know, they went within 9 months. You know, my brother died first of a heroin overdose on Mother's Day, and then 9 months later, my dad died. My dad was diagnosed with ALS, which is Lou Gehrig's disease. So it was rare at that time. I mean, it was so rare. So, I mean, we took care of him at the house. You know, the technology today, you know, I talked to people that went through it. It's nothing what we had back then. Back then, what they used to do was they'd do like a chalkboard, and they'd take these, like, they look like pages out of a coloring book. And they would have, one side was a chalkboard, the other side was a cork board. And they'd put them up there, you know, pin them. And they would get these straws, because I don't know if you know what ALS is, but you're completely paralyzed. You know what I mean? First, it's a nerve disease. first you start losing your strength, your energy, and then before you know it, you're just bedridden. You're just bedridden, you know. And my dad was an active person, you know. He was a boxer before. He worked out. He was a health freak, you know. So for him to go out like that, it was something. And a lot of people couldn't see him like that, so they wouldn't come to the house to see him. But yet, you know, his 7-8-year-old son and wife would see him like that every day. So we took care of him. My mom didn't want to put him in a hospital or anything like that, so we would care for him at the house. So back to that cork board, they would take these pages. None of them even pertained to what he needed. So they'd have a hospice, like a nurse come in, and then she would tape them up on the cork board, pin them, and then they would get these straws, drinking straws, and connect them together, 3 of them, put them in his mouth, and then he would try to point with them with the straws and say if he needed to go to the bathroom, if he needed, the weirdest things were on there, like see a priest, see your father-in-law. It was the weirdest pages. Like even as a kid, I couldn't understand, like, well, you know, why would these be on there? You know, immediate attention. Like we didn't get it, you know? So that's how, and now technology, they do this thing where they record your voice, because eventually you're gonna lose your vocal cords. You can't talk. So they do all these recordings with all these words, and then they put them in I might be wrong because I'm not really up on it, but just from what I've seen, you know, on YouTube, because I follow up, they get all these words, they, the, hit, lucky, those, any word, you know, and they put them all together. So when you do lose your voice, they put this monitor to your brain, and it knows what you're thinking, and it'll shoot out your actual voice. You know what I mean? So they're all stored in there. We didn't have that in 70, 77, 78, you know, when he was diagnosed. We didn't have that.
There's a famous case, Stephen Hawking also had ALS. And, you know, he used to talk with that little robot voice. Yeah,
and a couple of the 49ers had it, including the coach. And, of course, Lou Gehrig was the Yankee that, you know, they named it after. So we dealt with that.
Is that a common disease? Is it hereditary, or is it something in the food that dies?
The only thing that I learned from it, that most of the people that got it were the athletic type. You know,
and your pops was a boxer.
Yeah, so I mean, I really can't call it. I don't know. Some said it was hereditary, some said it wasn't, and there's really no testing. I mean, unless there is now. Then they didn't even know how to diagnose it. You know, they had a hard time diagnosing it. All I remember was he lost his strength, he was dropping things, had no energy, and then before you know it, he was just completely paralyzed. You know, bedridden. He died in that house, Lucky.
Yeah, no, bro, that sounds like just like a devil of a disease, in the sense of like, God, what did I do for this? You know what I mean? I'd rather walk across the street and get hit by a car. Okay,
Lucky. So I told you I'm gonna give you a story that no one's ever heard. So I've told this. I mean, Chamarita knows it, and people close to me, but I've never said this in a podcast. So you take a little kid, and I never looked at. I always looked at Frankie as, that's not me. You know, that's just a kid that was dealt a bad hand. You know what I mean? So you take little Frankie, 8 years old, playing in the backyard, finds two doves that are beheaded. Right? Beheaded. Goes in the house and tells his mom, shit, there's some birds right there that don't have heads on them. Then my dad comes out, you know, did you touch them? No. Gets a shovel, bags them, puts them away, right? They don't say anything after that. Later on that night, they could have waited till I wasn't around. They could have waited till anything. That was the first time I ever heard the term brujeria, which is witchcraft. So from there on, my dad went downhill. So we say it was a curse. I don't know. My dad went to different witch doctors during that time to try to get cured. And my mother being so straight up with me, straight up. I remember one time I was like, Mom, where's Dad at? He's in Mexico. Doing what? She goes, well, I'll put it like this, Frankie. Your dad went to go see a witch doctor. They cracked an egg. And when they cracked the egg, there was blood in it. So what does that mean? Your dad ain't going to make it. Like that. So I grew up fast. I grew up real fast. You know what I mean? Because I would take care of my dad. I mean, I wasn't much of a help, a little 8-year-old, but I did what I could.
What's the core beliefs of the family, though? Is it Christianity, Catholicism?
I mean, well, we were raised as Catholics. Okay. I never made my communion or anything like that. My mom did. But I don't know how many people would say this about their mother, and I say this out of love, but I always say the devil was a female. You know what I mean? And her name was Shorty. She was 4'11", and she was from Pedro.
That's your mom?
That's my mom.
Okay. Your mom from the hood, too?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. I got all my game from my mom.
Damn.
Everything. I learned how to honor my word, everything from my mother. She stepped up and became the father as well, and my brother as well. She became those two. Because when they both passed, it was just me and her. And I was close to my dad, and my brother was close to my mom. So then it was like, hey, we're stuck together. So that's how it came about. And our relationship was not your average relationship. You know, it was more like a homie, more like a husband and wife who would fight. And, you know, she would tell me stuff like, you know what you got to do. You got to make that right. I'm like, yeah, okay, Mom. You know, her facts of life was buying me a damn Penthouse magazine. Read this and figure it out. You know, so I read the articles, and the next time I told her, I said, can you get me the forum instead, Mom? Because there's some good stories in there. And she's like, you didn't look at the pictures? Like, well, yeah, I did look at the pictures, but, you know, I mean, the forum has some pretty good stories. And she's like, oh, something's wrong with you. Oh, then it gets better, Lucky. Since I'm on a roll here, she bought me fucking a bunch of condoms one time, right? I'm still a virgin, so I don't have the heart to tell her, hey, I haven't, I haven't smashed yet. So I'm like, did you use them? Oh, yeah, I used them all. I mean, they just stack. I would pass them out in school. I'd pass them out.
Bro, mom's was an alpha, bro.
My life isn't what, like I said, like some people see it, and I'm glad I'm giving it to you. You know, I'm giving a little taste here and there, but you're getting something that I've never spoke on before.
I appreciate that, brother. I mean, I appreciate that a lot. And mom's was just made different, bro.
It always comes to her.
She was just like, bro, here, you know what I mean? Go get that shit, but just do it right.
Yeah.
And understand that, you know what I mean? I'm right here with you. I'm right here with you. And what you understood that already, but mom's giving you a pop-up, like, bam.
Yeah.
Condoms, this, that, porn. Yeah, and you talking about, hey, give me this other one. This got good articles in it. This one's cool. The bitches are cool. Titties are big, you know what I mean? But the other one got good articles.
Yeah. Yeah, the forum, the little one had it. I don't know if they still make the Penthouse forum, but those are all stories. Oh, but it helped me with writing, in the future and all that when I'd write letters to chicks and all that, you know what I mean? I know how to romanticize.
Smooth.
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself a smooth dude? You always been like somewhat of a ladies' man? Even though you've been with your wife forever, right?
You can ask me that right now?
Yeah, I know. That's
yeah. Ask her that, Lucky.
Yeah. I mean, would you consider a smooth dude?
No, I did. Yeah, I did. They used to call me the Mexican Morris Day, because the way I would dress and all that, and try to, I thought I was a pimp back in the day. So I went under Pimp and Poncho.
Yeah.
So,
Shit. You got to be getting an abundance of fruit from the tree. Every time Pancho walked by a fruit tree, they just fell in those oranges. Oh, this is an apple tree, yo. Peaches. You never had to climb a tree to get the fruit.
That came from my mom. Okay, so what you just said right now, you just clipped the light bulb.
Yeah.
So my mom always said, I was born September 12, 1970. I don't know what the hell went on. I know there was an earthquake when I was born, but I don't know what type of solar eclipse or Saturn wrapped around Jupiter or something. But my mom would always say, I was supposed to give birth to you like on the 11th or something, but I held out. And I was like, really, why? She goes, because the 12th. What was so special about the 12th, Mom? She goes, you'll never be without a woman. And I'm like, wait, what? And she goes, because the Saturn lined up with Jupiter. And I'm like, my mom was a little con artist, so she threw a lot of, so I'm like, really, you expect me to believe that? And she goes, yeah.
That is crazy.
And you just said something right now when you're like, and I'm like, yeah, she would tell me that.
So she was. You said she was a con artist.
Yeah.
She could have been potentially really, really meaning it.
Well, no,
but being the fact that she's sometimes both, maybe.
Well, yeah, because sometimes she'd read people's palms, and I was like, when did you learn how to read a damn palm? But then all the shit came out real later on. Okay. On the piece, so I was like, fuck, she really wasn't a con artist. She was real.
Yeah.
Here I thought she was just,
You thought she was a cold hustler.
Yeah. Yes.
A cold hustler,
yes,
dog.
Yes.
Like, mom's a fool for that shit. You go giggling on the side, and she's like, "You're gonna get pussy tonight." And that fool's like, "Hell yeah." Bro, is mom still around though?
No, my mother was the last to go. She passed away in 2006.
Man.
So when she passed, I was talked into doing a CD, which was a 20-year anniversary of the music that I did back in '88. I did these mixtapes.
Okay.
So if my mom wouldn't have passed, Lucky, honestly, me and I wouldn't be having this conversation right now. You know what I mean? Because it would have never given me that push to do the things that I did. And one of them was actually a CD that I had no intentions of doing at the age of 38 in 2008. And it was an anniversary of my mixtapes that Chamarita and two other individuals talked me into doing for a mourning process to keep me busy. So I always say 2 lives were sacrificed for me to have what I have. Of course, my dad and my brother to be a longshoreman, because that's how I came in. I came in on deceased. I know we're jumping around. And then my mother to do this push as far as for her passing and for Chamarita to push me to do what I've been doing: music, acting, hosting, etc.
And so what age did that start? What date did that start? Because I want to get back to, I know we're jumping
I know
around.
we're jumping because there's so much to talk about, and then you're triggering some good stuff. Memory. I know we're connected, me and you.
It's the killer kush, baby.
I'm getting a contact high right now.
Yeah. Let's rewind it a little bit, dog. Your pops passes away, man. You know what I mean?
So 8, 9, I lost my brother and my dad. 8 and 9.
Brother and dad, bro. Like, how traumatic is that at that point in your life, bro? What's worse than the other? Is it your pops or is your brother that you looked up to?
It's both, but having a strong mother to kind of, I know it doesn't sound right, but to actually make you not miss them. You know what I mean? A mother that just devoted her whole life and made up for it. She became my brother, and she became my father. Wow. All in one. So
she loved you. Were her baby.
We were
right hand.
Yeah.
Pop.
That's all we had was one another. You know what I mean? So we, like she would say, we're stuck together. We got to make the best of it.
Yeah.
And we that was it.
It sounds like a love story, bro.
Yeah.
I swear to you, bro.
No, it does.
Like
it does.
Between mother and son, bro.
Yeah. Well, they always say the first love that a son ever has, or a man ever has, is his mother.
And you loved your mom.
Yeah. Oh, of course. I mean, I keep her memory alive with my stories. I keep her alive with my stories.
Like a lot of your childhood was dinner with you and her.
Yeah.
At the dinner table.
Well, you want me to get into that? My mom had a way of. Okay, so you see the way I eat, all right? I go to these restaurants.
Bro,
I don't fuck around.
Nice shit, dog.
We didn't have that growing up. We grew up poor.
Yeah.
But my mother had a way of bringing poorness into funness, as far as saying, like, let's pretend we're stranded out somewhere and we're camping and this is all we got to eat. So get the cans, we're going to open it up and we're going to have fun. Or let's pretend that, that's all we have.
Yeah.
And then her other phrase was, we don't like that. So when somebody from school would tell me, oh, my mom made, this lasagna, hey, Mom, can you make lasagna? Oh, we don't like that. We don't like that. You're not going to like it, Frankie. You're not going to like it.
I tried that one time, and that was the last time I had it. It was delicious. Horrible.
So, look, I grew up not liking a lot of foods that I never tried before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of foods that I had never tried.
So it was tough growing up then.
It wasn't tough because she made it easy.
Because the love was
fun.
strong.
She made it fun. She made it a lot of fun.
Wow, bro, what an amazing woman,
it was
bro.
fun. It was fun.
So how did I want to say
a pizza was a treat. If we ordered a pizza, oh fuck, that was a treat. You know what I mean? That was like fuck, and they delivered. Like that was something. And
then all of a sudden the pizza comes and she's got a party hat singing you happy birthday. We're gonna make this fun. It's not even my birthday. Well, let's pretend like it is, because there may not be pizza on your birthday.
And I guess that's what I do now. I celebrate people's birthdays when it ain't their birthday.
Yeah. I did that.
Like Rudy's.
Lucky does that to get free desserts.
Bro, I did that.
I hope that's not what they think I'm doing.
Shit. I almost did that every day last year, bro. Every night last year. Happy birthday. What is Dad doing in there, Mom? You know what I mean? He's in there by himself getting fucked up, singing happy birthday. Yeah.
We do that to Rudy. When is his birthday?
Yeah, I did that to quite a few people, you know.
So growing up, mom, man, she sounds, I want to say this again, she sounds like an amazing, badass woman that I would have loved to just sit down and chop it up with, man. Dude, just God creates beautiful people in this world, and she seems like she was
Thank you.
1,000% one of those
she was
freaking amazing human beings, bro.
She was like,
bro, just to do that, bro, make things fun, bro.
Yeah.
Make things fun and just be whatever the situation. Hey, we are stuck with each other, but dude, she fulfilled all them positions. Your pops, your brother. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you the story when I started wanting to start dress hard. You know, the Pendletons and all that, right? So, all these you know kids. We're still in junior high, and I want to say I was in the 8th grade, 7th grade. I think I was in the 7th. And, you know, none of the kids could really afford Pendletons then. You know, they were expensive then. And the money, I mean, you know, they're expensive now. So we'd wear Cascades. That was more of an imitation Pendleton wool. Fucking itched as hell. Itched you like crazy, man. You get a. Well, these were like the Pendleton look, not the Charlie Browns. Cascade also made imitation Pendletons. We'll call it that. We'll call it that.
But Cascade was the brand that made
the Charlie Browns. The Charlie Browns as well. Yeah. I have an original Cascade Charlie Brown. So, anyways, I come home and I showed one. I told my friend, hey, let me show it to my mom, you know. So I go, can you get me one of these? I go, it's a Pendleton. She goes, that's not a Pendleton. I go, it's a Pendleton. She's like, that's not a Pendleton. Look at the tag. It says Cascade. She goes, you want a Pendleton? I'll take you and get you a Pendleton. So I said, all right. So a couple of days later, we were looking at these Pendletons, and she goes, pick 2 of them that you want, and then I'm gonna put them on layaway, right? So I remember, and this is one of our stores in Pedro. They're not there anymore, but one of our downtown 6th Street stores. So I picked the 2, and I remember I asked the guy that worked in there. I go, excuse me, sir. I go, how much? I think I'm 12 or 13, and I go, how much are these? And I remember he answered. He goes, they're too rich for your blood. So I didn't know what that meant, right? So I go and I tell my mom, I go, hey, I don't know. I asked him how much, and he said, because my mom had asked me, go ask him how much, and I'm going to see how much I got to put down on them. So I go, he said they're too rich for my blood. She goes, what? Who? Where? So she went over there. I'll never forget. And she goes, get 2 more off the rack. I'm like, what? So now I got 4 Pendletons in my hand, right? And my mom goes, and I'm thinking she's going to lay them away. She buys them all.
Wow.
So she pulls out her, well, I mean, that was our rent money.
Yeah, right.
That was our food money. That was the money for the month that we were, you know.
To make a motherfucking point, bro. Got me fucked up.
So she bought 4, not laid them away.
Yeah.
And I remember, I'll never forget, we're walking home, and I go like, what was that all about? And she goes, he made it like we couldn't afford this. She goes, I'm showing him that we can. She goes, but we're going to be eating beans and rice the whole month, and you're going to make a deal with me. She goes, I don't want A's and B's. I want C's and E's. Get me those. And I go, you got my word. I got her A's, B's, and C's. So that was the deal, the Pendleton deal. Jeez. I've told that one before on Instagram, but this is the first time I think I've told it on a platform.
That's a good story, bro.
Thank you.
Mom was just made different back then. I mean, the old man, she's just like a triple OG though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you were born in the 70. Damn, bro.
Yeah.
Pedro an old hood, huh?
Yeah. You know, real old.
Real old, yeah. I mean,
you figure my mom was born in 38, and she was, you know, born and raised in Pedro.
Yeah. The history is rich right there, huh?
Yeah.
So going into like let's get a little moving forward into like high school. How was it in high school, brother? You know what I mean? Did you graduate? Did you play sports? I mean,
I made another promise that I graduate cap and gown, and I barely made it. I remember. I mean, I had to take A periods, like be there at, you know, before school started to have an early period, and I made it. I graduated cap and gown. I made that promise.
Yeah.
I started noticing that, you know, my mom would always make things happen. You know what I mean? So I would have the clothes, I would have, you know, everything through school. But I noticed as the final years of high school, you know, we were on Social Security. We were never on welfare. So we got Social Security, and I learned a little bit about politics then. I didn't know that when Reagan was in office, somehow they canceled one of our checks. So what we were living off of went down to half. And it went completely down to half.
Wow.
So it had something to do with Reaganomics, and during that time or something, now I know why my mom hated Reagan with a passion, and we suffered for that. So I still had 2 years of school, and I had to stretch things out. Those pants had to last, those shoes, and and those senior years and those 2 years, you want to be up to date with what everybody's wearing. She still made it happen, but I mean, I didn't have as many pairs of pants or shoes that I normally did.
How did you do academically? Did you excel in any certain subjects?
Well, no, they would ask me like, what do you want to major in? And I already knew I was going to become a longshoreman. So I would tell the counselor, I was like, I'm going to be a longshoreman when I get out of here, when I turn 18. And they'd look at me and they're like, you know how hard that is to get into? Do you know somebody? I said, no, but well, how are you going to get in? You got to know somebody. That was always you have to know someone. And I said, well, my dad was one. And they're like, he's going to get you in? I go, well, my dad died. And they already knew how that worked. As long as I was sole supporter of the family, I had a job waiting for me. And my mom never remarried. So she would throw that to me all the time. I sacrificed my life for you. I didn't remarry. I could have remarried. I could have met another, because she was 40 when my dad passed. So that's still young.
Yeah.
But she gave her whole life to me. So
knowing because the job was on the line.
Exactly. And she didn't want to forfeit that.
And how important of a job is to be a longshoreman in the harbor area, bro?
Oh man, that's another lotto right there. That's like hitting the lotto. You know what I mean? That's the job right there. It's the highest paid blue collar job, and it gives us opportunity to live a very, very comfortable life. And it's given me.
But when it comes to brothers from the harbor area, bro, and to be a longshoreman, I mean, that's like that. Would you consider that like a badge of honor?
Well, you had longshoremen, you had the refineries, you had the shipyards. Then you had a spot called Todd Shipyard. You had the canneries. So the harbor area always had a lot of opportunity and a lot of money to be made.
Yeah.
You had a lot of fishermen. They would make money. They'd go out and come back with fish, and they made bank. They didn't need to be a longshoreman. So you get a lot of old timers that didn't even go that route that made money because the harbor area had a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
A lot of opportunity. Now the only thing standing, I guess, would be the refineries and longshore. Yeah. So yeah, that, and before longshore was pretty much just Pedro, Wilmington, Wheelmas and Pedro. Now it's, expanded everywhere. There's people caught onto it.
Oh, in other words, you got dudes coming in from freaking Monrovia to be a longshoreman, and it's like, hey, homie, this is the harbor area right here, bro.
It was at one time just a harbor area job. It was, and
and
from
fools are set tripping too, huh? You go in there, little fat ass killer dog going there, bro. You know what I mean?
Not killer. He'll make it.
You all right, bro? All right, you'll be all right.
He'll be all right. He'll be all right.
But still, don't apply, motherfucker. I mean, that hall is cool, bro. I was in the hall, dog.
Huh?
I was in your guys' hall.
Oh, really?
I visited the hall, bro, in an unfortunate event for a brother from Weedmas that passed away. I was invited to the funeral, bro.
Okay.
And they have the after.
Oh, you're at the Memorial Hall. The Memorial Hall. Right.
Is that your hall?
No, well, that's the Memorial Hall where we have our union meetings, and then you have the dispatch hall.
Got you.
Yeah. You're at the Memorial Hall.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought that was your.
Where we get dispatched?
I thought
No.
like,
That's the Memorial Hall.
I was like, this is a little crazy and big ass dispatch center, bro. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, man. And so I want to ask you this question, but then I want to get back into the part with the high school start. The part. But being a longshoreman, what do you do, bro?
Unload ships, unload cargo. Pretty much everything that you have on or I have on from head to toe came out of a container somewhere.
Yeah.
So we unload and load back, and I stack containers. So I drive a machine that's called the top handler, and I stack them 5-6 high. I put them on truckers, or I put them on our own people, or take them off.
Big ass thing that swings around.
Yeah. Well, you got the crane.
Okay, the crane.
So I'm not too good with heights. That's why I never went crane. You know. And so I've been driving top handler for the last 31 years.
Damn.
Yeah, I've been down there 36, so I've been driving for 31.
I ain't fucking with no crane either, especially in the harbor.
That's too high up. That's too high up for me.
Thing, dog.
Yeah, I'm on the bridge and I'm looking at it on the. I'm like, no, I can't.
Bro, I'll bug out. I'll freeze up, bro.
People wait for that. Because that's by seniority, and I mean, I'm way above seniority. If I was to sign up now, I'd be number one on the list. Yeah. And everybody's like, you don't want to do. I go, no, I'm good. I'm good where I'm at. Well, I got to stay grounded.
Well, how many feet are they up in the air?
I don't know.
Hundreds of feet?
I have no. I just know those ships are getting bigger and bigger, higher and higher. So those cranes got to go higher and higher.
It looks like the thing that's got the square platform that goes all the way up.
I mean, it's crazy. Like,
and that dude's up there.
Yeah, and there's a guy up there. Yeah.
I'm telling you, dog. I know what you're talking. I'm afraid of heights, bro.
We got a 1-story house, and I don't even put the Christmas lights on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
I got a 4-foot ladder, and I got 3 brand new 10-foot ladders, bro. Yeah.
You know, see, that's me.
That was stupid.
That's me. That's me.
No, I'm an electrician, bro. You know what I mean? So I get on. I don't like. I get to high places, bro, and I've been at heights working, bro, as an electrician that I was uncomfortable with, but I just like, homie. This is how I pay my family.
Yeah.
Luck, stop being a little business about this shit. I mean, get this money, bro. And then, mind you, I'm the dude with the tattoos and to be talking shit to people sometimes, bro. I'm a good coworker, bro. I have fun, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can't be the dude with the tattoos that's scared to get on his shit. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, you little pussy ass fool. You know what I mean? You been talking shit. Yeah. So sometimes I just, you know what I mean, take it on your shit, like, just like, nah. I'm not comfortable, but I'm going to make this shit happen, bro. But no, I'm not making it happen on the crane.
Yeah.
Fuck no. Yeah, I'm gonna do the top handler and all that shit. How was it during COVID, bro? Did it really slow down right there?
Oh man, it was ridiculous. It was like, I mean, we were just
stand
work
still?
was stand still.
Yeah.
And then I remember a dear friend of mine, Lencho. Shout out to Lencho. I know you're watching. He told me we were sitting waiting for a job, and he was like, pretty soon the work's gonna come in. There's gonna be ships backed up, and it's gonna be crazy, and we're gonna be overwhelmed with all this work. And I'm like, when? You know, because it slowed down for about, I want to say about 3 weeks. You know, that was a long stretch. And then all of a sudden these ships just came out of nowhere, and it just like the work was crazy. You know what I mean? It just, you know, every time during February we go through Chinese New Year, so there's a slowdown. We didn't feel it that year. We didn't feel it for like 2 years because the work was ridiculous.
Well, what do you think about all this shit that, you know, Trump's talking about tariffs and all this other stuff, bro?
Man,
like, bro, is you gonna fuck up some longshoreman jobs?
I don't know if he is or not. I can't comment on that because I don't know. You know what I mean? So I really don't. I get asked that a lot. I got asked when the brothers on the East Coast were negotiating their contract.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody was like, "Should I buy toilet paper?" I'm like, "Toilet? We're back on that again?" And then I go, "We have a contract." They go, "You guys are going on strike." I go, "No, we're not going on strike. We have a contract." Those are the brothers over there on the East Coast. That's something different.
Yeah.
You know, so
how strong is your union, bro?
It's strong. I mean, like I'm 3rd generation, so it's been around for, you know what I mean.
You're 3rd generation longshoreman within your family.
Yes.
That's dope.
Yes. And there's some people that are like 5 generation. I mean,
are you real involved in your union?
Not as I should be. I should know that contract like I know other things that are, you know.
Yeah, like you should know 99 bottles of beer.
Shout out to 99.
Pay this man. Pay
that's
this
my
man.
family right there. They don't have to pay. That's one that I got nothing but love for them.
Yeah, for sure, man. Absolutely. But still, man, to be having the big dog there all the time, pay this man. No,
you heard it.
Pay the man. I don't give I'm his new manager. You guys holler at me. And we got to get these numbers right, baby. You know, Trump's back in office, so the money's going up. And, you know, our pockets need to get fatter, even if we are drinking and fucking got bottle service. Anyways, so you tell the lady, the teacher, that you're going to be a longshoreman. Mm-hmm. She says, "Bop, bop." You say, "My pop's dead." Then she understands how it works.
Yeah, because they're trying to get me like a major or something that I can major in. I'm like, what the hell am I going to major in? You know, they're like, "You want to take machine? Are you gonna work?" I don't think I'm going to work with machines. You know, so little did I know now it's automated. You know, automation came in, but I was like, well, what? She was like, "What could we give you that would be a good major? You know, with your electives?" So I went and, believe it or not, I took foods, and the only reason why I took foods was because there was more chicks in that class than anything.
Fuck yeah, bro.
But then I got a kick out of it. I was cooking for my mom, and my assignments, I bring them home and I had to cook for her. And then she was like, "Oh, hell yeah, I'm loving it." And she just had to sign it off. Yeah, he made it. You know. So I was briefly majoring in that, and then we lost the budget, and then they did away with that, and then it's like, fuck, what do I do now? So I forgot what I had. I think I had like wood class or something after ceramics. And then that was pretty much it.
Every time I hear ceramics, but that one song from Ghost starts playing.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Debbie Moore,
they're on the wheel. They're on the wheel, yeah. And we had that. We had that wheel. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Will, baby.
Yeah.
That will, baby. Just work it, dog. Work
You're
that
talking
will.
about that song by the Righteous Brothers. I know
Righteous
exactly
Brothers.
which ones. Yeah,
Oh, no.
My love.
There you go, man. Shit,
Yeah, I
we
know
almost hit
that,
the
yeah.
same note at the same time, dog. Shit, that's some good voices right there, huh? Baritones. Yeah, dog. Start a group. Got a new boy group, Pancho and Lucky. You know what I mean? You're like, what the boy group? You get out of high school, you graduate high school. Mm-hmm. Did you go straight into the longshoreman?
Well, I was waiting for them to call me. So I'm waiting and I'm waiting. And this is another interesting story right here. So I'm waiting for them to call me. And, I graduated in, June. And they're not calling. And we have no income at all. We're so I'm like, I got to get a job. I got to do something. Luckily, my mom had a little money, stashed. And that eventually ran out. So she, no medical, no nothing. So I'm like, God, what am I going to do? So the recruiters, right when you graduate, they're bugging you. You got the Marines, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines bugging you. So I go, you know what? Maybe I'll go in the reserves. So the Marine guy comes and I remember he came with his little clock and a little timer and all that. And I didn't finish the test on time. They come to your house and do it. I'm already 18. So so that was out. And then I go, well, why not the Army? My dad was in the Army, So I got a hold of the recruiter. The recruiter comes. We fill out all the info at the house. I sign everything. I'm 18. I'm of age. And then I don't know how I brought it up to him that I was waiting to be called to become a longshoreman. And he knew how the whole process worked. So he had told me, he goes, wait, you mean you're going to be a longshoreman? I go, well, my dad, And then I gave him the whole rundown about what my dad did in the service, et cetera, because he was like, your dad is a badass. I mean, he did it, So long story short, he kept telling me, he goes, you want to join the Army and any day now they could call you? And I'm like, yeah. And then after he sat there, and he just sat there and kept looking at my application and asking me the same thing over and over. I'll never forget. And then he goes, any day now you could be called. And I go, yeah, but I need income. I need insurance for my mother, medical. Yeah. I go, I need a backup plan because, I'm waiting and, I had only been waiting a couple of months, not that long, but it seemed like forever, without medical and income. So he goes, let me see that application again. And then he looked at it, and I'll never forget, he ripped it up. And I looked at him like, what are you doing? And then he goes, you're going to thank me in the long run. And then I go, wait, what? And then he goes, all I know is don't forget me. And when it's time for you to bring or sponsor somebody in, come see me because I want to be a longshoreman.
Damn, that dude's a G, bro.
And that man played a big factor in my life. I never got to see him no more because the recruiting office had left and he was no longer there. But I owe that man.
You know what, bro?
Big time.
Hold on, Pancho. I got a surprise.
Is he? Oh, there he is.
Open the door. You know what I mean? This dude comes in, he looks like Popeye or something, bro. You know what I mean?
That was good, Lucky. That was good.
Looks like Popeye.
It was the Army, Lucky. It was the Army, Lucky.
Fuck.
But he's ready to be a longshoreman, bro.
What's a sailor?
Oh, God.
Come on, bro. Come on. Are you catching what I'm throwing? Sometimes, bro, I swear to you, Pancho, I swear to you, I'm not always this fucking silly, bro. Cause I'm not drinking and I just smoke the killer kush, bro. And it just makes me silly, dog. Silly as fuck, bro. I apologize.
You're a beautiful person, man. That's cool.
I just like to have fun,
yeah,
dog.
I'm with it, brother.
I'm not afraid
like,
to be silly, dog. I've been a silly dude all my life, bro. But I've been a lot of other things too. But when I'm happy, I'm silly, bro.
That's cool.
Or I'm just like this personality, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is a little bit of retarded. You can't say retarded no more, dog.
Yeah, you can't say that
No,
word.
they brought it back.
Retarded, though, bro.
They brought it back since Trump won. They brought it back.
They brought it back.
Yeah, so you could say it now.
Okay.
Well, after January 20th, you're good.
The thing about me is I never stopped saying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I call my kids retarded. What are you, retarded? Straight up, bro.
We have a lot in common. Yeah, Chamarita, I don't like that word when I use it. But
I'm sorry, Chamarita.
When I use it, I get checked for that. So yeah.
No, and as she should, because she's up with the times, bro. My girl don't like it either. She's like, you stupid motherfucker. You hear our kids? Retard.
They call
like, what is this? And you come to my house and it's like, what is this, 1986? Bro, times have changed, bro.
Yeah. Well, there's no
from
freedom.
the old school,
There's no
baby.
freedom of speech anymore. I realize that. Like anything you say, they're gonna contradict you, especially on social media. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh God, I'm always explaining myself. You know what I mean? I always have to explain myself because, like I said, there's no freedom of speech.
I just try to keep the old school values, bro. You know what I mean? I still beat my kids with a belt, bro. You know what I mean? Once a week, me and my girl get into a fist fight, bro. I use the R word fluidly, you know? It's old school values, homie. They're coming back in style, dog. How crazy?
Yeah, that's right, baby. Old school.
Old school values. Look at him, bro. Look at this man right here, bro.
I'm about to have a kid. I'm gonna spank that little motherfucker too.
Oh, congratulations.
My dog's gonna have a baby.
Congratulations.
Bev.
Thank you.
Bev. Congratulations to both of you, man.
Thank you. Thank
That
you.
is amazing.
Thank you.
And we'll get into that. Casey's gonna have a baby, man, a little Pepito. We call him Pepita, and I don't know why I said Pepito. It doesn't sound right. Sorry about that, guys.
Cause it's gonna be a boy. That's why.
That's sick, bro. Yeah, it is. We're getting that's a whole nother podcast right there, baby. Casey's gonna be a daddy. God damn it. Casey's gonna be a daddy that's gonna wear the fucking thing that hold the baby and shit. You know what I mean? He's gonna be just like, you know what I mean? Going around in his little fucking milkman fucking outfit, and he's got the baby right there, and he's doing 3 different things. You know what I mean? Saving the planet. You know. So the dude rips the shit up, bro.
Yeah.
Rips the shit up, dog.
And then I want to say, well, 3 months later, I get called. I get called. I'll never forget. I went. You still got to fill out an application. You know what I mean? So I go and lucky I didn't have a car. I didn't even, we didn't have money, so I didn't have a car. So I had one of the homies go take me. I got to fill out this application, and I remember he was with me, and he was like, everything was no, and then it's like, okay, congratulations, you start tomorrow.
Yes.
And I was the youngest one down there for 2 years. Didn't have a car. I used to take the RTD to the dispatch hall.
Yeah.
And then from there, I would have to ask somebody once I got a job, hey, do you mind? I get a ride with you to the job. Mind you, I don't know how to drive, let alone pretty soon I'm gonna be driving what they call a UTR, which are the trucks that pull the 40-foot containers.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to drive a damn car. So it was rough. It was rough. And then I was the youngest one down there for 2 years. There was no hiring during that time. So I stuck out like a sore thumb. I didn't look like this.
Yeah.
And
we'll get into that, 'cause I want to know the point where you said, hey, I'm going to tattoo my face. Were you at 99 bottles of beer in the world, dog? What the fuck? You know what I want to do is I want to say shout out to all 1,044 people that are in your home or wherever you're at right now watching this podcast,
No, thank
man.
you, too. Thank you.
Let's go, baby.
Thank you. Wow.
We got a stadium in here right now. We got a 1,000+ person stadium in here right now, dog.
Let's go.
Listening to the big dog right here. MC Poncho, homie. Don't play with that shit. Follow the homie on mother. After this, the boy's gonna get paid. You pull up, you pay the man, homie. Give him gas money.
Well,
something.
I got an agent right here.
I swear to God, homie, I'll be a good agent, bro. I'll be a really good agent, bro. I'll just be like, nah, dog. But yeah. So, you know what, bro? I wanted to see something and I wanted to say it. I wanted to comment on it when you said it because it just really stuck to me, dog. Like, and I say this, I'm gonna use a word, bro, but I'm gonna use a word in a respectful way, but it could be taken in a different way too. But you sounded like a real sweet person, a sweet dude, a young dude that wanted to get mom insurance, bro. That's different, homie. That mom raised that boy right.
Well, thank you.
You feel me, dog?
Thank you.
Like you told the Army Corps, I got to get my mom insurance.
Yeah.
I'm here. I got to get my. That shit stuck to me, bro. And I wanted to comment on it, bro. But that said a lot about the boy that mom raised. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Sheesh, dog.
Thank you.
Homie, I wasn't there thinking I need to get my mom insurance. I was like, man, fuck that. She just chipped tooth. I just chipped tooth since 3.5 years old. She don't give a fuck about me. I don't give a fuck about her. You know what I mean? But she took care of you, bro. That's just tight, dog. And you Right back at you, Mom. I got you.
Oh, even when I got into relationships, everybody knew. It was hard for me to be in a relationship because they knew my mother came first.
Yeah.
So when Chamarita came in the picture, she knew that, but my mom, for some odd reason, took a major liking to her. So
Damn.
that was her drinking partner. My mom and Chamarita would go out to the bars and hang out and party together.
Right here in the building,
and that was her best friend. And onto this, I know we're jumping to this story now. I remember one time my mom would always take Chamarita to a spot in Pedro. All my Pedro people that are listening, they would go to June's Bar and the Rose Room. So they're at the Rose Room, and my mom tells me, she goes, so you're not serious about this girl, right? And I go, no. And then she's like, you're cool with her talking to other guys. And she's talking to other guys. She goes, well, you're not serious about it, right? Because she's giving her number out to guys, and as long as you don't have a problem with that, I just wanted to make sure, because we're getting free drinks the whole night, So I'm cool with it, So I go, are you cool with it? And I go, no, we're not serious. I mean, when, I'm talking to, well, at the time I was talking to other girls, and, we weren't serious. We were just seeing each other off and on, So she goes, okay. So I remember I jumped on the phone, and Chamarita's at work, and I get on the horn, and I call her, and I go, hey, what's this shit you're giving your number out to, to different guys? And she's like, what are you talking about? I go, you know what I'm talking about? And I don't know if I could cuss on here, so I have a filthy mouth. I got it from my mother, so I'm gonna watch my cussing.
Go ahead, bro. You're good.
So I cussed her out, called her every name in the book.
Yeah.
And then she goes, I don't know what you're talking about. And then it was weird, Lucky, it just came out. I go, don't you know I love you? And it just came out, and I was like, oh shit, like how do we rewind it and get those words back? Like how do I? And she goes, what'd you say? And then I go, I think I love you. I think I said I love you. And it came out. And it turned out that my mom made that whole story up just to get us together to see where I was at with her, if I was really feeling her or not. And it was all a lie. It was all a lie.
Mom is crafty,
it was
bro.
all, so she got us together.
Yeah, well,
bottom
shout
line,
out to Mom,
she got
bro.
us together.
Well, she got you to think about what the hell you were doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
She seen you coming home from that motherfucking what is that? The bakery class you were taking, bro? You know what I mean?
I was in high school, Lucky. That was it.
But
I didn't pursue it out of work.
No, I know, bro. But
I mean, with my job, I could have.
But
You know what I mean?
said
But
why you took the class, bro. She's like, this dude is too much of a player. She got a good one right here. I'm kind of fucking with her. I drink with her. She cool. You know what I mean? And I know this man right here. I raised this man to be a pimp. You know what I mean? But I think he needs to settle down with this one. Let me shake the bush a little bit. You know what I mean? Let me throw a little motherfucking bop, And then you come out and you say that, and thank God she didn't do that, bro, because I was already just like, well, that's kind of weird, bro. You know what I mean? I was a little upset too that she was doing that, bro. This is the whole story, dog. I was like, that's a little disrespectful, dog. You know what I mean? Like, shit. You do that on your own time, girl. I don't take you out to pass out numbers. What the fuck you think I am, killer dog? Shit. Not even Casey tolerates that shit, bro. Huh, dog?
I do not.
No, not at all.
tolerate that at all.
Fuck no, bro. Look at
All
that
you
face.
hoes out there, dude. Fuck y'all.
Casey's a cold pimp, baby. I love you. And it's been a love story since. It's been a love story since with her, Chamarita.
It has. It has. It really has.
Have you guys been inseparable or together since then? Or
We've been
inseparable maybe
we always say established 1993.
1993.
MC Poncho con Chamarita por vida, established 1993.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you be? That's love? That's real love, bro.
Yeah.
Is it because mom loved her?
Mom loved her. Mom knew that she had to be hard. Like, she had to be hard. So I always say, like, Chamarita adjusted to our, I won't even say custom. I don't even know what you would call it, Lucky, our hood ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, she came, Chamarita's from the island Guam. She's an islander. And
I knew bro. I didn't want. I knew. I was like, damn, man. I don't want to say it. That's beautiful.
So when
she's from Guam, bro.
She's from Guam. So when I met her, that's what a Chamarita is. So when I met her, she had the long hair past her butt. She had that islander look. I'll tell you when I first seen her, she's kind of small to be Samoan. And shout out to Gotti and Cobra Booyah tribe. I got nothing but love for them. Those are my people right there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I hope she's not related to the Booyah tribe, because then I got to meet them. I got to meet the whole family and this and that. So I was like, oh man, I never told you the story, Gotti, or I think I did. So I'm like, oh man, like honestly, So Then she told me she was Guamanian. She lived in Carson at the time, and she lived in a spot called Scottsdale, where that was West Side Piru right there. That's where the Booyah tribe and all of them were out of, in that area. So I was like, oh man, I gotta go pick her up there, and oh man, so it was worth it. We look where we're at now.
It was dangerous.
It was dangerous.
Yeah.
When I tell people this story that know that area, they're like, "You went through there and you picked?" I go, "Yeah," and I picked her up, and then so my mom, like I said, met her, and they would go out drinking and they'd party, and my mom was like, I really like her, but she's not Chicana, so I'm like, she goes, but we could change that. I'm like, well, I like her with the long hair. She looked like she belonged on a can of pineapple juice. You know what I mean? So she had that look. And my mom's like, no, but we could fix that. So my mom dyed her hair blonde.
Sharpie. No, go ahead.
Took her, got her first tattoo.
Yeah.
And the rest is history. And I always say, like, you learned a lot being around us from this mi vida loca, the crazy life we lived.
Yeah.
I go, but one thing we couldn't teach you is heart. That's something you were born with.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that girl has it, So now, honestly, it's kind of like the tables turned. I'm the one like, hey, Chamarita, give me a hug. And she's like, for what? She became like my mother. And it's like I'm used to that kind of life because my mom was hard. It was hard love. To get a kiss from her or a little, it was like a little peck. And then I'd always want to be like hugging my mom and touch her. And she's like, get away, get away, get away. That's what Chamarita does. I was trying to wake her up this morning. And I'm touching her like, hey, wake up. She's like, hey, don't touch me. I'm like, the fuck? I'm just trying to wake you up. So yeah. And that's how I guess I know I'm loved because that's the only, I knew that from my mother.
Yeah.
So it doesn't bother me none. But yeah, my mom, she's made from my mother.
Yeah, no, 100%, bro. And then just wow, what a journey you guys have had, man. You know what I mean? So you've been with her since, you said established 93. How has life been?
It's
throughout
been
all those years, bro? Longshoreman, doing your thing, making money.
Honestly, Lucky, I've done everything I wanted to do in life. Like, honest, I got into acting. I was a Mayan on Sons of Anarchy. I've been on Dexter, CSI, NCIS, Southland. 3 that went to big screen. I've done everything I wanted to do. I've ate the finest foods. I've had the materialistic things. I've lived my life, you know what I mean? And I've lived it for, the 3 that are no longer here, my mom, my dad, and my brother. So if I fail, I'm letting them down. And I told Chamarita, I go, the only thing that, if I die today, like I won't want anybody feeling sorry and say, oh, poor thing, he died. Like, no, he lived a life. That guy popped bottles and drank and lived like there was, ate what he wanted. It lived like there was no tomorrow. Spent money like there was no tomorrow. Enjoyed it to the fullest. He enjoyed his life. The only thing that I'm looking forward to is retirement. And I go, if I die before retirement, then you guys mourn me and feel sorry for me, so poor thing, because that's all he was looking forward to. Next year I'll be maxed out on my pension, but I'm still too young to retire. So 37 years, is the max, and 60 is the age to retire. 59 and a half, but 60. So I'm hoping something will change down the line, next contract, so I could get out and then just, enjoy my pension.
That's right.
How come no kids, bro?
I always say, okay, so as a child.
I don't know if you have kids, but it doesn't seem like you have kids.
Well, now would be a good time for them to come forward,
Yeah.
Whoa.
Dog, sit the fuck down, bro.
Oh, no. Well, I had people like Killer Dog approach me, like come up to me and tell me, like, on social media, like, hey, I'm your son. And then I remember there was this one individual, I was buying it. I was like, oh, maybe it is, like, Yeah. And then I was like, wait, how old are you? And the guy was like 5 years older than me. And then, I'm not trying to be funny, Lucky. That's the truth. But Chamarita's my witness. And then there was another one that was like, nah, man, come on, I was a virgin then. There was no way So I've had a few, and I had one that was actually busted somewhere, and all the homies were like, hey, we took care of your son. I go, you took care of my son? I don't know who that was. I did a drawing. I did a Poncho for him. And I'm like, that ain't my son. He goes, he had pictures of you in his cell. And I'm like, I don't know who you took care of, but that is not my son. And and a few people have told me that. So back to why, as a child, I guess I was a weird kid. I would be asked that. I don't know what kind of adult, like aunts and uncles and stuff, would ask me, and cousins, like, are you going to have a lot of kids when you get older, Frankie? And they're asking that to like a 9, 10-year-old kid. Yeah. And my answer was, and it wasn't even that bad. We're going back to 1979, 80. I would say, why would I bring children up in this world the way it is? and it wasn't bad. Look at it now, Lucky. You know, to be raising kids now. I don't know where that answer came from, but I always said that.
Maybe did you feel it? I mean, were you kind of like were you a person that was in tune with what was going on in the news and stuff like that?
I didn't think I did watch a lot. Yeah, okay, maybe it was Lucky because I did watch a lot. I was a what do they call them? Latchkey child. You just watch TV and stood in there. My mom would leave me in the house, so I watched a lot of TV. Maybe that's what it was then, but I mean, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad like now. Like
100%.
You know what I mean?
So
for a kid in 1979, a little Frankie to be saying, I'm not going to bring any kids in this world because it's pretty messed up and why have them suffer. Those were my exact words.
Well, every generation says that, though.
You know? Okay.
Well, every generation, because they're young and they maybe not know, or they haven't experienced other generations until a person like you, right, 54 years old, and myself, you know what I mean, 47 years old, you know what I mean, that have experienced some life, right, and then we have something to compare it to, which is a huge difference. 70s, bro, to 2024, homie.
Yeah.
Come on now, dog.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's fucking, we're in space age, bro.
Yeah.
Like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know? It's crazy, dog. But yeah, no.
So I never. I would say it wasn't in the cards, and then for me to do what I was doing, you know, traveling, and you know.
You've been responsible. Are you responsible? Is that what it is?
Well, yeah. My mom was buying me those condoms since I was like 11 years
responsible,
old.
Yeah. Because you know what I mean. You know, there's some dudes like I don't want to mention no names. Lucky, been fucking raw dogging shit. Dog, you know what I mean, homie.
I may be his kid.
He might be his kid, bro.
Wow.
But I really want to be your kid. You know?
Oh my. Oh, hey, all right.
I need that longshoreman ticket, baby. Let's go. Let's run it up, baby.
He might be my kid,
Let's
bro.
go.
Check it out. Oh, this is a picture of his mom back in 80. Still looks good too, bro. You know what I mean? She still got it, baby. We used to clown. This is my dog Casey. My boy Casey's back, man. I love this dude, man. And wow, we're gonna have such a fucking amazing year. It's gonna be ridiculous. It's already starting off with the bang right here with the homie MC Poncho here, baby. So it wasn't in it, and at the same time, you were a little bit of responsible. You weren't really like, hey, you know what I mean? I need a, you know, some people want the Cadillac. You know what I mean? Some people want the kid, or some people
they want to carry that name and stuff like that. That's what everybody would tell me. Like, don't you want your name carried? And I'm good with that. You know, so, you know, but all the women I've dated always had, you know, kids. So, of course, when I got with Chamarita, she had 2 girls. And, you know, and I remember when her younger one, Johnny, her little girl, she would tell me, like, are you going to be my dad? And I didn't know how to answer that. So I was like, well, just think of me as like a big brother. I'll be like your big brother. And then she's like, oh, okay. So,
you know what's such a trip, bro? The tree, bro. The tree. Your branch ends with you.
Yeah.
It doesn't continue.
How, wow, this is weird. We do have a connection. Okay, we're talking about a tree.
Yeah.
Let me go back. Now I want to tell this story about my brother, okay? And it deals with a tree, and it deals with reality of roots.
Yeah.
So my brother was busted, right, in camp. And I remember those, you know, as I said, I remember the balloons and the tattooing and all that. So we'd go visit him. And, you know, he was a juvenile, so he's in camp, and they happen to be in Pedro in the harbor area planting trees, right? So he tells his counselor, I think he only had like maybe another 4 months to go. He ain't gonna run. So he tells the counselor, do you mind if I go up, you know, we're right down the street from where I live. Do you mind if we just go up and we could plant one of these trees right here, you know, my mom's yard? So it was a lemon tree, right? Lemon lime. So he goes and he plants it. When we moved from that house on the same block, because it was a 1-bedroom, and then we moved a couple of houses down to a bigger one, my mom uprooted that tree and took it, right? So when we did the foundation of the house, you know, we had to jack it up and do our foundation. They wanted to take that tree out. My mom's like, hell no, you're not taking that tree out. You go around it. When we got our air conditioning system, they wanted to take that tree out. And my mom was like, no. You go around it. So we had to do this block of cement. The cement block, you know, it's like a big old padding that they put the air conditioning unit on.
Yes, sir.
You know, because we couldn't do the cement because my mom wouldn't let them. So when we did my whole backyard, hooked it up with the koi pond, everything, paved it, they were like, hey, we got to get rid of that tree. I'm like, you go around it. You make those bricks around it. So that tree represented my brother, my mother and my brother, you know, the story, you know, of that tree. So, the thing was, it didn't give seeds, so you couldn't replant it. You know, it was the lime, it was like a half breed of a lime and a lemon. Juicy as fuck, but it didn't give any type of seed. So not too long ago, well, maybe a couple years back, we'll say, well, I mean, obviously not too long ago. It's probably about 9 or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It was a couple years back, Lucky. I ended up bumping into that tree, and it cut me pretty bad, right? It was already dried up. You know, it was dried. So I was going through something at the time. I was I was moody that day. I was going through, I guess we could call it depression that day, right?
Yeah.
Feeling sorry for myself. So I took it out on the tree. So I grabbed the tree, and I hit the branch, and I don't know how I did, but I uprooted that damn tree. And that tree had been there. So Chamarita comes and sees it, and after I uprooted it, I remember Chamarita looking at me, and I was like, oh, man, I messed up. And she goes, oh, your mom's going to haunt you. And she's like, that tree, look what you did. Like, how? And I go, she goes, you did that? Like, I go, you get this strength all of a sudden, when you have anger. And I took it out on the tree. So I called one of the homies, Flacco, to come. I'm like, hey, can you save that tree? He goes, you uprooted it. Like, what could I do? He goes, all I could do is chop it up now and put it for the trash man. So where this tree sat, we had bricks built around it. Because I told you I did the whole yard. And all it was dirt. There was nothing there. And as days, I go, well, maybe there's roots underneath it, and maybe it's gonna grow. Lucky, with Chamarita as my witness, I watered that area. I put cardboard there for the sun not to hit it directly, hoping that something would grow out of that. And then I told Chamarita, I said, if this tree doesn't grow back, then I have no roots. I'm done. They left me here all alone. The three, my mom, my dad, my brother. So I go, if it comes back, then I have my roots. They're with me. I go, other than that, so this little, after maybe the third week, this little thing grows. Like, it looked like a little thing of grass. And I know Chamarita and the homie Flacco were telling me, well, it might be, but they knew that it was just a weed. They're thinking it's just a weed, a little weed that's growing. It might be, Pancho, you never know. That weed started growing and growing and growing and growing. I watered it, cared for it. That tree came back.
Damn,
and Lucky, it's in my videos.
Okay.
It's in my videos. It came back bigger than ever,
right?
Ever.
It's still
and then I
bearing the
told
same
Chamarita, the same fruit. It's there.
Yeah.
I go.
Wow.
It made me ashamed of what I did. I was acting like a poo butt. But it honestly, I go, well, those are my words. If it doesn't come back, I have no roots. And when you said the tree, I'm the end of the tree. Yeah. Damn. You're on point right now. You're hitting.
Shout out
You're
to
hitting hard,
Killakushcali
brother.
right
You're hitting
there.
hard. Is it the Killakushcali?
The Killakushcali. That's that.
You're on point, Lucky. Really.
Well, we sit with each other, bro, and I always feel like, I don't know what I sometimes. I don't want to try to turn this into something bigger or smaller or something crazy, bro. But I'm just saying, sometimes when you sit across from somebody, it's a vibration, right? Mm-hmm. We're catching a vibration. We're having a real conversation.
But not always. Sometimes you don't get it with somebody, or sometimes like, oh God, you know what I mean? You don't connect with somebody.
Well, I always try to connect with people.
Yeah.
I always try to connect with someone. And sometimes if someone comes in here and their energy is real low, well, sometimes if I respect them or if I want to give them a certain amount of, not if I respect them, that sounds fucked up. But if I feel like I want to give them a certain level of something, then I'll like, all right, dog. You want to be cool? You want to be chill? I'll go down there with you, bro. But sometimes I want to be in the mood right there. I'm trying to pull the dude up.
I've seen it. I know.
Yeah,
I've seen you in action. I know.
But yeah. Anyways, the tree, bro, comes back to life, bro.
Yeah.
Comes back to life, man. You got to find a way that tree never gets uprooted. They continue going around it, but the branch ends with you. The branch ends with you.
Yeah.
Do you have any cats or dogs?
We have 4 dogs. Yeah.
Well, hey, 4 dogs out of home.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's something, yeah. I don't mean to make a silly joke about it, but I'm just saying it's interesting, brother. It's interesting in the sense that there's some people's lines that end with them. Adopt some kids, bro. Keep the shit going, bro. Say, don't ever take the picture of me down in the living room.
Don't
worry. I'm ready to be adopted. I'm right here. I'm ready.
Chamarita's daughters, honestly, I love them like they're my daughters.
Oh, okay.
And they, so that's another story there.
Okay.
That's a whole nother,
Okay.
So those are my daughters. I'll say it. I'm saying it right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so she has daughters outside of, okay, cool.
Yeah. That was the one I told you she was little, and she asked if I was going to be her dad, and I said, no, I'll be like your big brother.
Got you.
You know,
Okay, I didn't connect that with.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Yeah. All right, for sure, dog. All right, well there it is there then. You know, I mean they're gonna keep the branch going. 100%, brother. You know what I mean? So you get it. You know, let's talk a little bit about you get into these actings and music, bro. You were involved in music. I mean, you MC Poncho. We know where Pancho comes, but we got the MC before it. Did that start with you rapping or what?
Correct. Yeah, I started. Music had always been my thing. You know, I mean, I would make cassettes for the older homies in the hood when I was like 10, 11, just off of regular turntable. And as a child, instead of my mom buying me toys, if I was a good kid, my mom would always make deals. If you're a good kid, I'll get you a toy once a month or whatever. So instead of toys, I wanted records. And this is a 5-year-old kid. So I was like, instead of can we go to the record shop? Can you get me a record? So that's where it started. She bought me a turntable. It was a Mickey Mouse turntable. It was like a little suitcase, and Mickey's arm had the needle on it, and it played the So that was my what I played my vinyl on.
Sick.
You know what I mean? So I'm a kid lover. And music is always. They bought me every instrument. Her and my dad when I was a child, like not real expensive, but a little piano, a guitar, drums. I sucked. I couldn't play none of them, but I tried.
Yeah.
I tried.
Yeah.
So she bought me a DJ system. I remember we went down to downtown LA on Broadway, and she bought me a system. 2 turntables and a mixer, 2 Techniques. Well, actually, it was a Technique and a Gemini, and a Newmark 1700. So I started on that, and that's where I started off as a DJ. And then eventually I got a DJ because we were booking weddings, quinceaneras, stuff like that locally. And then I started getting on the mic, and that's where the MC Poncho came. I knew I wanted to move the crowd and get on that mic.
What year is this, bro?
88. 88, 89, yeah.
Damn, so 88, 89, we got NWA popping off, right? Who else we got out? We got Kid Frost.
Ice-T. Frost was already, La Raza had came out after that, yeah. So that was the first I had heard on the radio, along with Malaman Ace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you making the music.
So what I did was I was DJing. I would just get on the mic and then just like what I do at 99 Bottles, shout outs and
okay.
You know what I mean?
Like
just
that.
MC. That's it.
Okay. You were the hype man,
so
bro.
You was the hype.
You
Move
the
the crowd.
OG hype man,
bro.
bro.
I'm on the mic, because
that's
my
sick, dog.
the DJ I got didn't talk much. So that's where I came in. You know what I mean? So I'm on the mic and just, hollering.
So you've been being smooth for a long time, baby. You get on there, you got the panty dropper right here. Woo, ladies.
So yeah, that was.
I see you in the parking lot.
So then I didn't DJ no more. You know what I mean? That was it. And then when I started working, a friend of mine, I didn't have a car, I told you, so he, we got a job together. His brother was a dear friend of my dad, so his brother had told him, hey, you look out for, Frankie, you look out for him, and that guy did. He really did. So I remember lunchtime, we went and grabbed some sandwiches, and he took me to his house, and he had a daughter that was handicapped. So she just touched my heart, and I was like, man, what can I do for this girl? So I wanted to create these cassettes, these mixtapes, and I created the Harbor Area Sounds. So they were like a takeoff of the East Side Story, with oldies on them, and I just throw some, but they blended because I had 2 turntables. So I would make a tape, blend the songs on there, and do an intro, So then that's when I thought I could rap. So I started rapping it with an intro and an outro, and I dedicated that one to her. And I sold them at the dispatch hall on Fridays out of a duffel bag.
Hey.
And the money that I made, I gave it to them, and I said, start a fund for her,
Wow.
And that was that was the inspiration of MC Poncho, really, and the motivation of that. So I had no intentions of doing any more tapes, just that one that I dedicated. It had a cover on it and everything. I took it to a print shop. It had a cover. It had all the songs on there, and so people were asking me like, what's up with number 2? What's up with number 3? Are you going to keep going? And I'm like, I had no intentions of doing it, but I ended up, down the line doing a total of 30 mixtapes, and they all had covers. And what blew me up on that was my tapes were sent through the system in the packages. So, we're going back to the 90s era.
Yeah.
And they're buying them. Wives and family members are coming to a swap meet where my outlet was. It was called the Try It Indoor in Carson. And they're buying them and taking them somewhere and getting them shrink wrapped and putting them in the packages. So my tapes are on all the yards.
That's sick, bro.
Yeah.
That's sick, dog.
Yeah.
Back when
I couldn't believe that, when I had heard it. And when I first heard it, it was from my mother, because a friend of my mom's wanted to get in contact with MC Poncho. And my mom tells her, she goes, do you know MC Poncho? Because, my mom's hip and knows, everybody. Yeah. Mom's like, why? Is he in trouble? Like, what's up? She goes, no, I need to get in contact with him. And my mom's like, for what? She goes, well, if you don't know who he is, maybe Frankie knows who he is. And then it's like, Frankie is MC Poncho. Now, what's the deal? She goes, well, my son wants his tapes. He's busted, and his tapes are on the yard. And I'm like, how are they getting them? And that's when she told me, they're buying them over there, shrink wrapping them, they're putting them in the package.
That's sick, bro.
So that's when I said, she goes, how much will you sell me a set? I think at that time I only had like 6 volumes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll give them to you. Tell her to come pick them up, and I ain't going to charge them.
Yeah.
So then they just started taking out. This guy would transfer to another yard, take the tapes with him, and word would get out. Oh, Poncho, and they would, send their people, and I'd hook them up. That's and then, sick, I've always appreciated artwork. As you can see, I have it all over me. Yeah. So, they had hobby then. So they would ask me like, hey, what do you like? I had bout. They'd make me a bout, the cups, the paños, everything you could imagine. So they were like, hey, he likes artwork. Hook him up. So they'd send me artwork without even asking, and I'd make sure they got their tapes.
And you've been collecting this artwork for all these years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And your house, bro. I mean, I've seen some videos, and sometimes I'm just like, I mean, bro, that house you live in, I mean, it seems like it's just a really amazingly just
like a museum. It became a museum.
Yeah, okay.
We dedicated the one room that was my mother's room. We called it Maria's Sacred Smoke Room. So everybody would go in there and smoke and get high, and they said they'd find inspiration. I let everybody toke in there. Yeah. My mom smoked. My mom was born on 420. Yeah. So she would, she was a smoker.
Yeah.
And
I see it right there. I see a hat, bro.
Yeah.
And you were born on the 12th.
Yeah.
Because you could have had an 11th, bro, but she said the pimps are born on the 12th.
Jupiter and Saturn. I know someone's going to watch this and say, you know what? It really did happen. I'll let you know.
That's crazy, bro. I'm fucking with moms big time, bro. Yeah. And so, okay. And so the smoke room, the museum,
the artwork.
I believe you said koi pond too,
koi
right?
Pond?
Oh yeah. Well, I got into kois when I went to Japan, and I was just like, wow, we built a koi pond,
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a koi pond, and then artwork just everywhere.
How is it maintaining kois, bro? Having a koi pond, is it
kois are strong. They're really strong, and shout out to 7 Seas, because they're the ones that come and do that and maintain.
They maintain it for you.
Yeah, they do it. They do
it.
But they're real strong. The kois, they could last like in snow and everything. They're strong fish.
Wow.
Real strong. Yeah. The only thing that gets us we're infested with raccoons and possums.
Because they want to eat those things.
Yeah.
They want.
So I built it high because they say they don't know the depth. If I would have went in the on the ground, so I went a little higher, but they still get to them sometimes.
Bastards.
Yeah, I know.
Mother's gotta eat. Yeah. They look at you and they're like, "Well, there's a pandemic going on here." They're saying a new pandemic's gonna be coming up, bro.
Oh God.
People are getting sick, dog.
I seen that today. Well, when we were waiting outside, it popped up.
Yeah. No, we bounce back around the mixtapes, bam, getting in the system. You start a little bit of rapping, intro, outro. You're hustling. What a fucking, bro, you've always been just a fucking, just sitting right here with you and having a conversation, you just real, decent, but you just, you sound like you've been like this all your life, decent, bro. Like you selling the volumes, the things to give the girl in the wheelchair, bro. Donate. That's, bro. Shit, man. Salute to you, bro.
Oh, thank you,
That's just tight, bro. That's who you are. That's you, bro.
That's me.
That's you, huh?
I mean, that's a lot of people think they know me. A lot of people don't like me for whatever reason it is, and I try to think if I was I guess we could, because if I was a piece of shit and I did a lot of people wrong, I'd be hiding under a rock somewhere.
You wouldn't be at 99 bottles
and tag you where I'm at.
That's gang. That's Southland right there.
You know what I mean? When people, and they're like, oh, fuck him, or I don't like him, or this and that. And I'm like, they don't even know me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't even know me.
Yeah.
And, oh, well, I'm not here to make you like me. You know what I mean? But the majority, I'll get people that, I didn't like you in the beginning, but you're all right. And
I hate when people do that. It's just like, bro, You're a fucking dickhead, bro.
You know.
I mean,
it doesn't do any good.
that approach does nothing good, bro.
No, now it's like, okay,
Like-
well, you like me now? Well,
Well, I just decided I don't like you now.
Right, exactly. Thank you, Lucky. Yes.
Bro, that approach is a dickhead approach.
I've heard that numerous times.
I've heard it before too, bro.
I've heard it numerous times.
So have I, dog. Yeah. You know what, Lucky? At first, I didn't like you, and I'm like, all right, well, you had every reason in the world. You know what I mean? Your sister, she was a fucking whore. I fucked the shit out of her. You know what I mean? If something like that, then okay, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if there's no relationship and you just believe in all these rumors that Casey's mom's putting me on the streets and shit, you know what I mean? Then it's fucked up. Yeah.
So the music took you ultimately to Japan, right? Yeah. I want to hear about Japan.
Oh, that's an interesting story. So, 2006, my mother passes away. 2008, Chamarita talks me into doing a CD, which was a 20-year anniversary of my mixtapes, which I didn't want to do. I'm a has-been. I'm done. I thought I took it as far as I could. You know what I mean? I did cassettes. I did 30 mixtapes with covers up till CDs came in.
Yeah.
So now she talks me into doing a 20-year anniversary. It's 2008, 20-year anniversary of the mixtape, which is a CD. I get in the studio. I plug in with Seven from Halified Records.
Okay.
He gets me in the studio, and which I really was hoping he wouldn't. And I'm doing my drops. Now, mind you, Lucky, I go back to recording off of a Gemini sampler, which I invested in, rapping over instrumentals. You know what I mean? No, I don't know what a hook is.
Yeah.
I don't even know what a bar is. You know what I mean? I would just like do those, but I started rapping. I mean, I'm rapping at 88. There's raps on all these CDs. Not only an intro, but there's a rap. So now I'm in the studio with Seven, and I'm trying to do these 1988, 89 songs that I did back in the days.
Yeah.
And he's plugging me in, and if I mess up, I'll punch you out, in and out. Then you had to get it on one take. You know what I mean? You had to get it all on one take. And there were songs that I let slide on a tape because I didn't want to do it again. And I'm like, it sounded good. We'll just let it go. We'll let it go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so Seven gets me in the studio, and he starts telling me about a gentleman that had been sending for all these Chicano rappers, and he had been one of them. And he tells me the story about this man, this interesting story. Doesn't really interest me. I mean, I have no intentions of going to Japan. I'm just trying to make this damn CD that Chamarita talked me into doing. I didn't even want to do. So this man had wrote a book, and the book consisted of his journeys because he had been busted in Hawaii. He was Yakuza, and he sold ice to an undercover agent. It's all documented out there, So he ends up doing time in Hawaii, and Hawaii's U.S. territory. So he ends up doing all this federal time in all these different prisons in the U.S. Doesn't know a word of English, doesn't know the custom or anything of America. So everywhere he would go, they would someone would approach him. He didn't know if they're trying to take something from him, what they wanted from him. So he'd just start bombing on him, right? So this man ends up in isolation and somehow gets. It's like a written script, and you got to stay with me, Lucky, because it jumps here, it jumps there, it jumps there, and it all goes together. Okay. It all goes together. Don't lose me. Don't. So we're on his story now, right? So anyways, this man does his long stretch. Okay, he ends up coming home, and he takes the culture back to Japan of what he learned in the system. Right, he takes it and starts sending for all these Chicano rappers. He's sending. It was Dito Brown, Mr. Shadow, Seven, different rappers that he's sending for at this time. Right, so Seven starts telling me about this guy. I'm in the studio. I got the headphones on. I'm ready to do my drop, and my compadre's sitting there looking at the book that this man wrote on his ventures in prison, and he's going through it and looking at it, and all of a sudden he sees something, and he's like, "Hey, comp, you got to see who's in this book." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sure there's people we might know," and he's like, "No, you need to see like right now." So over a period of probably 3 interruptions, because I'm got the headphones on, I'm ready to do my thing, and he's like, "Stop what you're doing, and you need to see this now." So I'm like, "Okay, what is so important?" He shows me the book. It's a picture of me and Chamarita in this man's book. Yeah. So I'm like, and then Seven, I tell Seven, "Did you know I was in his book?" And it's all in Japanese.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "I thought you didn't know." I'm like, "I don't know this man. I don't have a clue who this man is you're talking about." I go, how did I end up in his book? And he's like, "Well, hopefully he'll call tonight, and you could get an answer." Well, he never called that night, but he ended up calling during the week.
Yeah.
So I chop it up with him, and I ask him, I go, "I'm in your book. Where did you get that picture from?" And then he goes, when I was, before they let me out, on the main line, I was in isolation. And he had transferred from Sheridan, Lompoc, different, he made his little tour. I don't know what prison it was that he ended up in, but he said somebody slipped him a Teen Angel magazine. And when they slipped him the Teen Angel magazine, he said he looked at that over and over and over, and to keep his sanity, he pretended that the people in there were his family members and friends. And he goes, and you guys look like a cool, couple, and your girl looks Japanese, which Chamarita has Japanese ancestry. And he goes, I pretend that I knew you, and you guys are my family. So it's like a written script.
That's crazy.
So now I'm in here doing this CD. I'm in this man's book. I have no intentions of going in. I'm just doing the CD because really Chamarita talked me into doing it. And the one that also played a big role in that, okay, Seven, because he got me in the studio. Yeah. Okay, Chamarita, because she pushed it. But the one that did all my graphics for the CD and the poster and everything and push was Teen Angel's son.
Wow.
Because I had a relationship with them. So now I'm telling him, you ain't gonna believe that this man from Japan, and he, had a Teen Angel from you guys or your dad that, published back in the days, and this is how this whole story is going about. And he's like, you're the one, Pancho, you're the one, you're the one. I remember him telling me that. And his name's Smiley from Verdugo, much love. And he's like, you're the one, Pancho, you're the one. And I ended up going to Japan. The rest is history. The thing was, this man, when I talked to him, he had told me that there was a DJ that went and bought my cassettes at the Triad Indoor, where I told you the indoor swap meet. A disc jockey, a radio disc jockey, that had bought my cassettes when he came to the U.S. And he still had them. Huh. He was still holding on to my tapes.
Wow.
And crazy. He told the dude that was sending for people, he was like, I thought he was either dead or in prison. You mean to tell me this MC Poncho? I have the Harbor Area Sounds collection.
Wow. That's crazy, bro.
Damn.
So that's how that came about.
And so how was it in Japan? What you doing there?
Yeah,
how
what
were you
is
there,
that,
bro?
Did you eat Japanese food before even going there?
Yeah, I had Casey, I had to psych myself out and try to eat like raw sushi and raw everything that, so because I didn't want to disrespect them once I got there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I did that. I prepared for it. I trained for it. And then I realized once I was there, it was all part of what was planned. You know what I mean? Because I'm there, but it was all part of a healing process. I ended up doing, like 3 shows, which I didn't even think I was going to perform out there. I thought I was just going with Seven, and he was going to be the one performing. So I head out there, and I'm performing, and next thing you know, we did our last show. I remember I went to the hotel, and I just let it all out. I just let everything out. Like, I just cried like a baby. Yeah. And I realized I was there for a reason. How this man in so many miles away, a whole nother world away, and here I am doing something that I never completed, but my mother was my biggest supporter in that music. Yeah. And here I am doing it.
And you said the Chamarita's always kind of had that like edge with you in the sense of like
the push,
the mother
yeah
thing.
Yeah, she didn't make it on that trip with me. Yeah, I went solo, with Seven, and we had 2 other Americans and a DJ with us.
I want to give a quick shout out to Hellified Records, man. I've known some of them dudes throughout the years, man. Always been solid dudes, man.
I want to say we did something with you back in the days. You were Scum City, right?
Yeah.
I remember that name.
Yeah,
I remember that name. Yeah, I remember Scum City.
That was like
I don't know if we're at a show together or something back in.
Oh, so you're a part of Hellified Records too? Okay. Yeah. I thought they were just your boys, bro.
Yeah.
No, that's dope, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've seen a bunch of the dudes throughout the years, bro, from Hellified, man, and they've always been solid dudes, dog. You know what I mean? Big shout out, dog. You know what I mean? So that's cool. Bam, you out there in freaking Japan, bro.
Yeah.
Doing your thing.
And how did they pick you up? Was there like some lowriders involved or?
No, that the first time, the lowrider culture was still there. You know what I mean? So it was like I rocked 3 shows. I gave them everything I had. Everything I had was the 1988 stuff. Like, I'm not writing new material. I'm 38 years old. I'm done. So then he asked me, when you coming back? I'm like, coming back for what? I gave you everything I got. Like, when I say everything, it's like, that's all I have. I have no material. I have no, that's it. You got it all. You got 3 shows out of me. That was it. And then he's like, no, you're gonna come back and you're gonna do the super show, the Lowrider Super Show. So I'm thinking normally they'll have somebody big there. They'll have like Ice Cube, Little Rob, or somebody that's, you know, well established.
Yeah.
And Frost, he did a lot of them. So I'm thinking like, okay, who am I gonna open up for? You know, and at that time they were like, you know, you could bring your girlfriend who was Chamarita at the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna you know, bring her. And then when I got there, I was like, who's the main act? Who's the headliner? Like, who am I? And he's like, no, you're the one. I'm like, I'm the one. Like, are you serious? I'm the one. There's no other Americans coming out here, you know, or Chicanos. And he's like, no, you're it. And I remember when me and Chamarita were walking in, you know, we had our whole entourage of Japanese people just walking us. We're the only 2, you know, out there. And everybody in there was wiping their cars down, and then they just stopped. They just stopped and like just stopped in their tracks, and they were just looking at us. And I remember when they were looking at us, it was a feeling that just, I got that lump in my throat, and I just told like Chamarita, I go, hey, we made it.
Damn, bro.
I didn't say I made it. I said we made it.
And she pushed you to do that. She pushed you to do that. You know what I want to do? We got 1,100 almost 1,100 people in here right now, and I got to do this right now. I want to do this at the height of what we're doing right here, and here we are right here, guys. Hey, Maji, if you got to use the restroom, Phil, use the restroom, whatever, just chill real quick. I'm going to get through this. Hey, we're sponsored by Shockaware, baby. We are sponsored by Shockaware. More than streetwear, it's culture, lifestyle, individuality, and self-expression through clothes, baby. Shockaware, man. Come on now. Shockaware.com. Use Hoodstocks15, get 15% off. Don't play with it. We're also sponsored by, we're sponsored by Killakush, dog. See that right there? You want to reach out to Killer Kush, go to killakushcali@gmail.com and tap the in, dog. Get some drip fits, all that other stuff. Sponsored by Kush Connect, baby. Kush Connect got the beautiful packaging. You know what I mean? Shout out to my Oppes, man. My Oppes love me, dog. Armenian brothers love me, dog. Sometimes you can catch me in Glendale, dog, with a tracksuit on, dog, and I ain't got no chest hairs, homie, you know what I mean? So these fools ain't gonna be showing out on me, dog, so I just get a little, you know, the little... Anyways, dog, I fuck with my Oppes. I got Kush Connect tapping them right now, 747-213-0704, and they will deliver it straight to you. Motherfucking door. There you go, baby. Go. Yes, we're also sponsored by Origin. Casey's going to take care of these after today. Casey will be taking care of these right here. We're also sponsored by Origin Bakery Equipment, all right? You guys got any commercial stuff you doing? You know what I mean? These are the people right here, my dog. Tap in with Origin Bakery Equipment. Commercial bakery equipment. Start your culinary, take it to the next level, baby. Get off the sidewalk.
Sell some pan.
And you can reach them at 626-7579-3580. And we're also by Doug Sherrod. You can reach him, KingKongLawyer.com. That is our lawyer, criminal defense lawyer we have on retainer. The boy used to be work for the DA and used to work in the federal prosecutor's office for the feds, baby. You know what I mean? It's nothing but the big dog. You gotta cross that bridge, man. You stay on the right side of the road so you don't got to. But if you gotta cross the bridge, bro, and you need something, you need the big dog, Doug Sherrod, man. KingKongLawyer.com. Don't play with. We're also sponsored by Rottweiler Mafia, baby. They got me a Roddy, but it's coming any day, bro. Any week I got a badass Roddy for me, bro.
Sick.
Yeah, homie, you know I be bartering and shit, bro. You know, hey, homie, if I make a deal with Fruit of Balloons, I'm gonna be wearing tidy whities again, dog. Fruit of Balloons. Shit, homie, I'm a motherfucking half Jew, half Mexican motherfucker, bro. I barter, bro. Like, what you got? All right, that's cool. Like, shit, sometimes, you know, it can be a skill set, a duty, anything that can, you know, be the potential of replacement of the cash flow, the actual green dollar.
Are you saying that anything is possible?
Hey, who's that little man back there? Look at that little head right there, little bobblehead. Do the bobblehead, dog. That's not really Casey. He's fake.
It's AI.
AI right there. You know what, dog? Let's do this. I got some gifts for you guys, bro. And before I forget, oh, this is from Killer Kush, matter of fact.
Oh, wow.
Killer Kush got a gift for you right there, dog.
Wow.
This is for you and Chamarita, bro. You know what I mean? Some snapbacks right there, baby.
We're representing. We're
definitely. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. No.
It'd be a great honor.
Thank you.
This is for your wifey right there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
thank
dog.
You.
That's the big dog
one
right
so
there.
Much.
This is for you right here. I want to give a big shout out to Chewy. Chewy's hats.
Oh, Chewy's my guy. Chewy did this.
Yeah, he does my shit, bro.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
wow,
we got this for you right here, bro.
Oh man, thank you.
You know what I mean? Just a little lightweight, run around go to the supermarket real quick, dog.
Yeah, no, thank you, Lucky. Thank you.
And then every guest this year, bro.
Thank you.
You know, just January this year. What the fuck? What are you shitting out garbage pail kid cards, bro? No, just this month, dog. Only got a few, dog. We're gonna keep it old school. Give a guest one of these classics. 1986, dog.
Wow.
1986.
I remember these. Yeah.
Those are so cool. Oh, bro, open it up. Not right now. Or,
Okay.
do what you want, bro. Oh, you can leave it like that. But I like to look at them, bro.
But I mean, the value is when you keep them closed.
Exactly.
You know.
So you choose,
You can't
brother.
have fun with them, you know.
Yeah, you choose, dog. But
I got something for you too. You
Yeah?
know? I mean, I
You
had
can
asked you ahead of time were you drinking, and I didn't want to bring alcohol.
Yeah,
You know,
well,
and,
you know,
and you're doing good, Lucky. You're doing good.
Well,
you know?
I've had a few. What did you bring, bro?
Well, you know, I drink nothing but Bucanas.
Okay, so what is that right
and
there?
this is the top-notch Bucanas right here.
Let me
This
see
is
what the
one-
bottle
and,
looks
and
like,
I got
bro.
something in that backpack too, Killer. If you
Let me see what the bottle looks like, bro. Can I open it up?
no, yeah, you can open it.
No, I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to tell you what to do. You know what I mean? I do the hard work, bro. You brought the gift. Oh, dog. What the fuck, bro?
So I mean, I know you're a smoker, and I know you got the best ones, Killer Kush, and you know I've seen who sponsors you. You know, so I got people that sponsor me too. So this one's from Hadar. This is for you. Enjoy it.
Thank you, brother.
Enjoy
Little
it.
zip right
Yeah,
there, you
what-
know?
What is it called again? I like it,
That
dog.
one's Hadar, the company Hadar.
Hadar, okay.
They hooked me up, you know.
Man, that's-
so that's for you right there, brother.
I love this
You
right
know.
here, bro. I gotta put that
So-
away before we get fucking. The motherfuckers are like, they stay doing a drug deal on YouTube right now. You know what I mean? Call the YouTube police.
Oh, fucking haters, bro.
Bro, what is the boxing? Hold on.
Well, I signed it to you. You know what I mean?
Oh, sick.
Damn,
Para
this
mi
dude, is
canal, you
a,
know.
this dude is a fucking music.
That's hard right there.
Shit, homie. So does this mean the bottle doesn't get opened?
That's
You're
your
gonna
bottle
have to
right
put
there.
it
You
up
can
on
do
the
whatever you
wall
want
right
with
there.
it. That's your bottle.
What does that taste
That's
like?
the best of the best.
What does it
That's the
taste
one I
like?
drink in the club. Well, that one you want to drink straight. It's real smooth. It's a Scotch.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you want to drink that on the rocks. Don't mix with it.
Don't mix with
Yeah.
it.
The one you see me drinking in the club is the lowest grade, but my body's already immune to it.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to mix pineapple juice with that one. That one, Killer Dog see me, I just drink it straight out of the bottle.
Yeah.
You know, but that one is like that's the damdada of them.
Put the camera on him, bro.
You know, that's the smoothest right there. It don't get no better than that one.
Yeah.
So enjoy it on the rocks. And, you
Yeah,
know.
no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, brother. That's I
thank
really
you.
appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
And I'm not doing that to end the podcast, even though we are a couple hours in here, bro. But are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I appreciate you, bro.
We're all going to the docks after this. We're all going to the port. Fuck it.
What is that?
I'll give you guys a tour.
Sitting on the dock of the bay. Love that song, bro.
And I know, Casey, you asked me a question about the lowriders.
Yeah,
They did pick us up. I think that was on my 4th or 5th trip to Japan, and they picked us up in lowriders. And there was a gentleman that didn't speak a word of English, who's big now in the, I guess you could say in the, you know, the culture. He's the one that picked us up in one of his Cadillacs, and I remember he was. He hit it till it broke.
See that
You know what I
works?
mean? So he hit it till it broke, and he was, you know, he's out there now. You see him out and telling his stories. A lot of people think his name's Hyde, but it's Hide. Look him up.
Hide.
Yeah, Hide.
Are you still tapped in with Japan?
Somewhat. The last trip we did was right before COVID, so I hadn't been back. You know, apparently I don't rap no more, but you know, I just go there like a little meet and greet and meet people and just, you know, enjoy being out there. You know.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you this question. Now, I mean, being a huge part of the culture and seeing the Chicano culture as it is, how do you think it will live on past? I mean, once you guys pass, like, once the 60-year-olds, like 50s and 40s kind of go away, like, what do you see the culture really turning into?
Okay. Go ahead.
No,
You're
yeah.
done? Okay. And to clarify, because I know I'm gonna get checked on this one. People are gonna be, it ain't a Chicano culture. It's a culture that we don't even have a name for it. I call it Cholo.
Yeah.
I call it Cholo because when you use the word Chicano, I mean Chicano is a Mexican American.
Yeah.
A Chicano could be somebody that looks like me, a doctor, a lawyer, a policeman, a fireman. You know, Mexican American. You know, bottom line. So they use the term Chicano a lot, culture now, but I always try to. It could be a long, never-ending debate.
Yeah.
So what I see now. Oh wow, we're actually really shocked.
I just want to taste it with you.
Okay.
I mean, it is New Year's.
Okay, we'll sip it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sip it, bro. Salute, my G.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Love you, loves. Really.
Yeah, likewise, brother. You know what, bro? Hey, check it out, dog. I wanted to show you this, though. So what I did today, dog, is I went up an extra size on my pants, bro, because I usually kind of stay a little bit of fitted, bro, but I know they're not creased up, bro. But then what I did too, I said, you know what, dog, let me throw the black laces back on the white shoes,
Oh yeah,
bro.
that's what I got. Yeah,
No, I know. I've been
mandatory.
seeing your shit.
That's
I ain't done
mandatory.
it in a minute, bro. But I always stay G'd up, but a little more fitted, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's
you
right.
know.
You look good, man.
But I was
You
like,
look
and I know I'm not creased, bro. But I was just like, I know homie be just dressed to impress, and I'm not trying to top you, but I wanted to take a little old school,
man.
bro.
You did.
Yeah, I mean, I want to take a little old school,
you
baby.
did, brother. You did. So
Yeah.
back to Casey.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah. So I see them keeping it alive.
Yeah.
And people do ask me like, what do you think of the way they dress now? Because they're not from neighborhoods. A lot of them, and they just I won't want to disrespect anybody and say they play dress up, but a lot of people will dress up, with the brim and all that, and we went through that. I mean, there was times in school I got chased by other cities, that older men that would come by, and I'm running with my books and shit because of the way I was dressed. So to give that answer, and a lot of people are shocked when they hear me give that answer, I'm like, I like to see it, because there's people that are still dressing the way I did, like back in the 80s and 90s, and I still do to this day, minus the drama.
Yeah.
Minus what we had to go through.
Yeah.
I see some people that are offended by certain people wearing Cortez, because a lot of the hipsters are wearing Cortez, and it's like, people died wearing those shoes. I've seen it, and I like the fact that it's still carrying on, and I mean,
It's coming back, bro.
It's
not.
there.
I mean, it's never left, dog. It's never left. But it's funny right now because I go into Shaka Warehouse, bro, the headquarters, and what they sell there is classic gang attire, bro.
Right.
I'm sorry, they're like, fuck. The owner just threw his hot pocket against the fucking screen. Fuck,
Hey, he might
lucky.
put that on there.
Who
Come
knows,
and get
bro?
your classic gang attire.
But bro, I'm in there and I'm just like, bro, it's just a classic LA
Yeah.
look, homie.
Yeah.
Clean.
Yeah.
On the baggy side, baby.
And
You know what I
minus
mean?
what we went through wearing it back in the day. So
Whew.
if you could wear, I always said there's no 401k or insurance plan.
There's no life in it,
banging,
bro.
In
No.
banging,
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're gonna carry it on and create, and then that's where I become the critic. Because I'll see some of them wearing. I'm like, hey, you didn't cuff and you didn't V-cut it on the side. You didn't baby cuff it. You didn't crease it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You didn't shine those Stacy's.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna wear those Cortez, keep them clean.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And
So-
make sure that when you smile, there's teeth on them. Fuck, dog. What motherfuckers are. I fucking, like, bro, you were going to slip in those slippers. It's like, no, they're Cortez, dog. No, homie, they ain't got no teeth. They're slippers now, bro.
And they are slippery.
Hey, the grimy homies, bro, be wearing them all fucked up, bro. It's like, damn, dog, it's time for you to go back to jail. Homie, look at your Cortez, bro. You know what I mean? Beat the fuck up. Go ahead, brother. Carry on,
That
sir.
was pretty much it. He was just asking me what did I think of, and I hope they still carry it on.
Yeah,
Or as
like
it
I see
evolves,
them-
and
like
if
I
you
see a lot
guys,
of
the
videos.
OGs, kind of like at least cemented it with style, et cetera, how it.
And I honestly, I just followed. Like I said, I followed something that, by telling the story of my mother, if you're gonna do it right, Frankie, if you're gonna do it right, and that's what I learned from her. You know what I mean? To this day, I'm still creased cuff, baby cuff, V cut on the side. My Pendletons are military press. So I'm still following that.
Yeah. What about tattoos? If we get into tattoos, because
I've tattoos. My mother had them. Hers were homemade. As a kid, I've always wanted them. Like I've always, and I guess she thought I was gonna outgrow that. So eventually, when I would ask her every time from 15 on, she was gonna give in. When I was 15, and then she pushed it the next year, the following year, and she's like, okay, he's gonna outgrow this. I went all the way till 18, and she's like, well, you ain't gotta ask me now. You're already of age. You can make those decisions yourself. So I remember I came home with a full sleeve. All my ink on both arms were Sony Walkman motor, guitar string, single needle.
Oh, yeah.
Done on my porch or done at one of the fellas' houses. Shout out to Rudy Nightoff from Carson. He did this arm, and Chaco and the Ochos did this arm. So I got some old ink on me that the fellas did, and
Looks good, bro.
You know, it's old school.
Yeah, no,
it's old school.
Yeah, no.
A lot of the patterns are from a gentleman who passed away from Long Beach named Boy.
I mean,
so these, you know.
Yes, it's old school, but it's old school.
Thank you.
I mean, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, right.
You know, and then I just kept going.
It's just a different whole little level, dog. I mean, because like there's dudes in there nowadays, bro, that are. What's up with the mic? Everyone's putting up mics, bro.
Yeah, we're just putting up mics. Maybe just turn the board off real quick. Turn it back on.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Hold on
guys.
1 second.
Hold on a second. They're saying lucky there's a lot of echo, so that means the board goes off sometimes too, bro. Okay, now we're gonna be back on.
Maybe when we
Are we good? Can you guys hear me out there?
Sounds better now.
Can we get thumbs up?
Yeah, this shit should be good. Sound is good. They're messing with you. God, that bro,
that many?
Bro,
You just sound distant. Yeah,
Is
you
it
just sound.
Is it just one person that's saying
It
that?
says they say your mic sounds different. Usually you could project like
How's mine? Am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
You're
okay.
close on yours.
They're saying mine is fucked up?
Well, because usually you could project from like sitting back.
Okay,
and
we
you
got the
usually
thumbs
sound
up.
loud,
Sounds
but-
good.
Thank you
sounds
guys.
good.
Thank you for the thumbs up.
Now
And thank you everybody who's been listening to me rattle on. Thank you.
1,100 people right now sitting in to help hear us. I mean, dog, you know what I mean? Like, how many times can anybody really that's not inside this lifestyle or a part of the lifestyle or still connected to the lifestyle? There's some that are now living in another state, bro, and they miss the homies, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They miss chilling with people like us, bro, having real conversations like this, like we in the backyard, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Backyard boogie, baby,
Yeah.
just chopping it
Yeah.
up, bro.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yes.
easy.
Yes.
Like, and so sometimes when people, like, there's people, bro, and I'm one of them, too. I don't have a lot of, like, I know a lot of people, but I don't have, like, a lot of, like, close friends, bro.
That's us. We
Yeah.
can count them on one hand, seriously.
Yeah, I know a
Seriously.
I know a
You
shitload
see
of
a
people,
whole
bro.
crowd around us, but we could count them on one hand.
Sometimes, bro, there's people that I've met through the podcast phase of my life, bro, and they fucking text me, bro. Like, Merry Christmas, bro. Mm-hmm. Happy New Year. The Happy New Year ones are important, right? Mm-hmm. You know? But who am I to say shit? Because I ain't texting nobody shit, bro. You know what I mean? So I'm talking shit, bro. But being the fact that I'm kind of like that, bro, and when I get them, bro, I'm just like, oh shit, dog. Like, it's cool, bro. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh fuck. I knew we were best friends.
I knew you liked me.
Yeah, I knew you fuck with me, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm like, I like it. I fuck with this dude. Yeah, we gotta link up, fool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm home with my girl and my kids, and we don't have like parents or people that come in, and like it's always just been me and her, bro. Like her family's just like. They're deceased, to be real, you know what I mean? And so mom, you know what I mean? So it's just me and my girl, bro. And then we got kids, you know what I mean? So like the babysitter list is low, bro. We had a couple of them and the kids are like, we ain't going to Auntie's house, fuck that. You know what I mean? You know, and I'm like, Auntie with this, she puts us to sleep. You know what I mean? Hey man, kids start telling you the truth and it's like, oh, is that right? And then what happened? You know? Yeah. But anyways, yeah, so I stay, besides this podcast, bro, and work and whatever, bro, I'm fucking just a regular I'm a dad, I'm a bad husband, sometimes I'm a good husband. You know how that goes sometimes, bro, you know what I mean? You know, sometimes we're good, sometimes we're not, bro. But we still love each other, bro. You know what I mean? We still love each other. You know? And my girl be like that too, bro. I'll be like, let me get a hug. She's like, I'm busy taking care of your kids.
I know that feeling,
I was like, I didn't tell you to have them, girl. You remember? Give me your babies. Give me your babies. I'm like, all right, girl. I mean, you got them. She's mad I'm saying this because it's all real shit, bro.
These are all real conversations.
Well, she did ask me that one time when we were in the act of mating, like National Geographic
They don't
animals.
ever mean that, Lucky. Come on.
Huh?
You know they don't mean that.
What?
When
Give me,
they said, yeah.
Give me your babies?
Yeah, come on.
Joke's on you, bitch. 2 kids later. You pissed off because you can't go out. Oh, you about to experience that, bro.
I'm about to
He's having a baby, dog.
I'm about to experience
You
that.
don't know his life's going to change upside down.
That's your first, Casey?
Yeah, it's my first.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you nothing. Congratulations and nothing but the best, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
wow.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
gonna be fun. I'm
Bro,
excited.
he's gonna be a great dad, dog. He's gonna be a fucking dude. This dude is gonna be a great dad. I'm gonna see his kid and I'm gonna be jealous, bro. Cause I know him, bro. I have a feeling that you're gonna be very attentive, bro, to your child. You're gonna be very involved with your child. Your child's gonna be just that little smart ass kid that knows all this shit, bro. Straight up.
Well, you know what's actually funny, Lucky, is that my wife is actually Jewish and I'm Mexican, so the baby is actually going to be a Jewish Mexican.
We should name him Little Lucky. And I love him. Let's get smart ass Little Lucky over here, you know what I mean? I was like, what's 4 plus? No. I like smart kids, man. Kids.
You gonna take some calls?
No, we're not doing no calls, dog. Not tonight, bro. It's the beginning of the year, baby. We don't need all them phone calls. Happy New Year, dog. Homie, I'm still hungover, fool. You know what I mean? We heard all that shit before, dog. We'll do phone calls maybe next time. We to have the big dog come through right here and just post up and chill and be easy and shoot it from the hip, dog. Shit, homie. Phone calls might fuck everything up, dog. You know what I mean?
It may be fun.
It may be fun. We'll do it another time, though, dog. We see a lot of people right here in the chat, man. Casey, don't listen to Theo Lucky. So sometimes the burnout was pink.
They said, congrats on being a mom, Casey.
Let's go.
Being a mom. This dude, throughout the years, this dude has gotten it bad, bro. But he's just a fucking. I'm glad he's back, bro. He's such a fucking intricate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I've seen it. I know.
You know. This like sometimes you don't know what you lost until it's gone. Casey, I'm sorry, man. I'm winking twice. Get me out of here.
Twice. Help me.
Yeah, help me. Canine got me all high. You know what I mean? No, we got each other all fucking neat though, sweating. Fuck, dog. It's been a fucking bro. Last year I couldn't wait to get out of last year, my boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, dog. That shit was just like, and I've had horrible years, bro. Far worse than that. But just being the fact of what I've gotten used to, right? Like my palate tastes different now. You feel me? You know, I'm a fucking bro. Like, you know, I'm a union dude like you, bro. You feel me? Like we cool, bro.
Yeah.
We good.
Yeah.
I mean, we put in the work. We got in the union, bro. And shit, union brothers are great. You know, that union life is for reals. And I work non-union, so shit, I know what that's like.
Yeah.
I know what that's like. I'm a non-union electrician, bro. I know what that's like, bro. That shit sucks, dog.
It's like slavery, I heard.
Bro, it's not slavery, bro. It's just politics made up on the fly, bro. Whoever's the dude your boss is and whatever's going on, it don't matter, bro. You know what I mean? You know what? How much experience? I got 5 years experience. You know what I mean? What's high voltage colors? You know what I mean? Or they just give you a little test and it's just like janky, bro. You know what I mean? Or hey, non-union, union life, baby, is where it's at, bro. Pay the dues, homie. Don't cry about the dues. Pay them, homie. It all makes sense at the end. Oh, so my palate changed, bro. You know what I mean? I know I'm talking about. I lost track of where we got in your story, bro. But my palate changed as you start like living a good life. Mm-hmm. You know, I think I got out at the end of 2013, end of 2013. Bob, since then, 10, 11 years? And I fucking got on it like a big dog, bro. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It was hard. I had to work all these things out of my head and all kinds of crazy shit. And because I was addicted to this certain type of life or whatever. But anyways, yeah, man. Oh, so yeah, last year was a bad year, bro, because my palate done changed. You know what I mean? Like a bad year is different to me now. Like, I don't have to go to prison to have a bad year, you know what I mean? Because I have different expectations of myself, you feel me?
Right.
You know? Feels good to be on this side of life, baby. Straight up, bro. Mm-hmm. That blue collar life.
You're doing it.
Shit. Yeah, man. It's a good life, bro. You know what I mean? To just not have to. Anyways, so when did you decide to get the tattoo on your face, dog?
Well, when I ran out of room.
When you ran, when did you start tatting your face up, bro?
I want to say 2009, I think I did the face. So yeah, that's been some time now. Because back then, I mean, you really didn't see too many people like you do now.
Yeah.
It's crazy, now. But yeah, I ran out of room. Every time I'd go back to Japan, I'd get something over there. And then I remember they would always ask me, like, hey, Pancho, you ready to tattoo your butt? I'm like, my butt? Then I remember one of my last trips, like, yeah, go ahead. So I got the full bodysuit. I got the full bodysuit. And
wait, what's that, Killer Dog? Huh? No, I thought he asked to see.
No, I'm not taking my shirt off or my pants. But yeah, that was pretty much what I had left was the face, and then so I thought. And then recently, there was a well-known tattoo artist, Mike Avena. He's one of the creators of Flash, the Chicano style Flash. So this gentleman that was running with Mike decided they wanted to do something different and have me tattooed. Get a tattoo from him and his son. These two tattoo artists, right, out of Stone Temple. And I remember I was like, all I have left is the top of my feet. And they're like, okay. So here I am. They got a camera crew. They're videoing it, and I got the father on one foot and the son on the other at the same time.
Yeah.
And I got both the top of my feet done.
What did they put on that?
Oh, it was horrible. I got like the city of LA, the city, and then like a lady overlooking it, but then they put the bridge. Our bridge for the harbor area.
Yeah.
And then the other one's like a gesture, like a clown. And cause I told him, whatever you guys want. Like, you guys are doing it. I have I hadn't gotten a tattoo in I don't know how long. It had been, it had been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, it was all to promote their business. So
yeah.
I was their guinea pig.
And you got paid for it.
No, I got 2 tattoos. I couldn't walk for a while. That was
and you said the tattoos came out bad.
No, the badass.
Badass.
No, not
Oh.
like bad. Not like bad. Like, it was bad. The pain.
Oh, okay.
The pain.
The pain was bad.
Yeah. I'm 50-something years old, getting tattoos on the top of my feet. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, the pain was bad, like really bad. Yeah.
What a trip, bro! Like, that just says a lot about the kind of like the image that you built. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The person that you are. The people, want to film that to promote their brand, bro. With you, using you, bro. That's pretty cool, bro. Yeah. That's cool. That's a different level of,
now I get
notoriety or respect.
I get
right?
a lot of artists that want to tat on me, but I'm like, I don't have any room left. But you could use Chamarita as the canvas, and we could go from there. Yeah. Because I wish I did have room, but I'm out. I don't plan on taking anything off.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Yeah, because you could laser something off, right? Yeah. So you just leave it at
as is. Yeah.
As is.
As is.
That's respect, bro. That's legit, though.
Thank
Because you can easily let your lays off and get
a lot of people do that got because the way the work has progressed throughout the years. And I remember one time this artist from Italy had came down, and he wanted to see my tats, and I was always wearing long sleeves. And then after he's like, no, let me see him, and this guy was on like another level, conventions, and he was out here tatting from Italy. Yeah. So I showed it to him, and he goes, man, and he was like taking pictures. And then he goes, that's where it started. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be where we are today. You should be proud of what you have. Yeah. And I go, I am proud of what I have. I go, it's just that I'm nowhere what you guys are doing now, especially the way you guys mastered that black and gray. This is all done with Pelican ink that kind of turned green after. Yeah. This was Indian ink that we bought off of Office Supply. Like I said, the face, was done professionally, and a lot of the fill-ins later. But the early ones that I got were, from the homies.
Yeah, no, for sure, though. Yeah, that's different.
I had my own gun. They made me a gun out of a Sony Walkman and a guitar string and single needle.
Little fucking guitar string on that bitch. Yeah, that's a whole different type of. You know what? I lasered all my shit off, bro. But I didn't have tattoos that you could just like that's gonna age well, Luck. You know what I mean? There's some tattoos that won't age well, bro. Yeah. And I did some shit, bro, where I was putting tattoos on top of tattoos, bro. I was putting tattoos on top of tattoos, bro, and then the next thing you know it's fucking ugly, bro. And I was so self-conscious about it throughout the years because it's just in and out of going to prison and whatever, this, that, and the other, or starting early getting tattoos and by someone that shouldn't even be tattooed, right? But yeah, man.
That's a nice word.
Sometimes people be like, bro, what the fuck is that? And I'll be like, shit, bro, this is the best ones. Oh my God. What the fuck is that, bro? And that shit would just break my heart, bro, and make me skip a little bit of a beat, bro. Hey, shout out to Miguel Romo for the $50 drop, baby. That's love, baby. I thank you so much, dog. But so I lasered, bro. Look at, bro. You can tell like all this shit. You know what I mean? Everything behind it, bro. I got all laser work, bro. All that shit.
you got some
the
beautiful-
HOP's old school, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like,
Beautiful work.
And this is prison work on my hands right here. That's why it's all funky and shit. But I even lasered my hands too.
Wow.
Because I had pimp slappers on my hands, bro.
Is that what you had written? Pimp slapper?
Yeah, pimp slappers, bro.
Wow.
Stupid as fuck, bro.
What does that mean?
Wow.
Well, I caught two mutual combats, bro. Anyways, bro, and at one prison time, bro. And so I was a dick, bro. And you know, you're not supposed to be doing that and shit with the fellas, whatever, but it happens sometimes, bro, you know what I mean? And so I tapped, it was on a 3-yard too, so sometimes a little more shit, more slides are like on a 3-yard, bro, you know what I mean? But I was a dick and I was fucking like, I'm gonna put pimp slappers on my hands, bro. And they're like, hey, that fool you just got down with just tattooed pimp slappers on his hand.
So yeah.
I don't know, bro. It was kind of like being a dick, bro. You know what I mean? The fuck's in prison tattoos pimp slappers on the
After he just knocked you out, huh?
This is a testament to my fucking retardation, bro. Like, dude's
Retardation.
bro. Dude is stupid as fuck, bro. You know?
Man, people want some of the calls, Lucky.
No, we ain't doing calls tonight, dog. We'll do it
That's
another
what I
time,
told
bro.
him,
Yeah, another time, bro. I just don't feel, you know what, bro? It's not that I don't feel, but I just feel like it would be good without it, bro, because we chilling, bro, and people are dialed in. But once people start calling in, those numbers are gonna go, bro, because you know they're gonna lose interest on, you know, certain things, bro, that we want to know about Poncho, bro. You know what I mean? Or just hearing him talk, having a conversation. Because let's be real about it, bro. He's really just a physical art piece, right? Is that safe to say, brother?
I'm cool with it.
You're an art piece, bro.
Well, thank you.
You feel me? Obviously, bro, because people want a tattoo on you. They want to represent their brand. They want to have you there, bro, because you represent a culture. You represent a movement, right?
Thank you. I mean, I never really looked at it like that. Like I said, I've just been following suit all the way through from what I've learned.
Well, you know what? If you hang out in the jungle long enough, you're gonna start resembling the jungle. You hang out in the desert long enough, you're gonna start resembling the terrain of just like the animals, right? There's animals in the desert, bro. Why are they all the same color as the sand, dog?
Right.
You feel me, bro?
That's true.
You know what I mean? So when you grow up in a neighborhood as so many years you've been in San Pedro, bro, you know what I mean? You are gonna start looking like San Pedro, like your neighborhood, bro. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the way it goes, dog. That's the way life goes, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Salute to that, bro. So what do you got cracking for the 2025, man?
99 bottles. You can catch me there.
Bro.
You know, just work. I mean, nothing. I got a movie coming up I just attached to called The Heist. So I think we start that in April. And aside from that, I just take it as it comes. You know, my day job, you know, it's pretty much it. I don't know, whatever opportunities come my way. You know, and there's always been quite a few.
Is there an MC Poncho documentary? Take the thing off that dog, please, my boy. Documentary, okay. Or will there be? Dude, hella cool, and I bet has a gang of stories. Well, you shared a couple of them right here. And respect to you, Fernando, for the
thank
$5.
you.
Damn, Miguel Romo just dropped another 50.
Miguel, shout out to you, Mr. Capone.
Mr. Capone, okay, big dog, I'll see you right there. I appreciate that $50, my dog. What do you say? Salute Lucky and MC Poncho. Good scene. Good scene at the LA San Pedro show. My homie Lalo
right.
Active Inc. lives in the HA. Find a new spot for a tat. Stay up, local. Until next time. SGV.
Right on, Capone, right on. Yeah, he tatted on Chamarita for her birthday. It's his homie that he's talking about, yeah.
Capone, man, that's a old school pimp right there, huh? That fool been...
He's been in the game,
He's been doing this thing for a cool minute, dog.
Yeah.
A crazy cool minute. I mean, I was never, check it out with me, bro. I was never a Mr. Capone fan in regards to music, but I respected him from afar, bro. I seen that dude with all the females doing his fucking thing, moving with different types of dudes and shit like that. And he's still here to this day, bro.
He's still here.
He's been doing something right.
And he's not aging. He looks the same. You hear that, Capone?
And I say that I say that respectfully, sir, in regards to the music thing. Like, right, your music wasn't targeted for me, bro. It's targeted for all that other stuff, right? And you made money off it. it. You know what I mean? You build a brand and a name from that. So I don't have to like your music to not respect the dude, the individual. Does that make sense, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like, bro, I respect the hustle. That dude's a hustler, bro.
Yeah.
Straight up, dog. He's been doing the damn thing. What up? Oh, yeah. What do you need, dog? The cup. Oh, Killer Dog wants to take your cup, bro.
Everybody's asking about your jewelry.
Bro, I was just thinking that right now. I can't stop looking at it, bro. That jewelry
What are they? What do they want to know? Is it real, or what are the questions? I've always been a jewelry guy. It's white gold.
That's white gold, bro?
This is all white gold.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much, homie. I wanted to ask you, but I didn't want to put you on the spot. But I'll be wearing silver because I got some big dog Hoodstock silver chains. D. Leo the jeweler's the dog. But anyways, that's white gold, bro.
This is all white gold.
So I was
everything I have is white gold.
Bro, that shit is beautiful, brother.
Thank you. I've worked my ass off for this, throughout the years, and
Bro, those rings are hard,
a lot of them I had on layaway. I still do layaways. If they have a layaway plan, I will still do it. Bro, I know I'm working for that. I'm eventually gonna get it.
Bro, fucking a firm is fucking got a fucking. They're looking for me right now, bro.
Fuck. I told you, bro.
What's all the other ones, bro?
Hey, Miguel, shout out to you again. Miguel Romo, another 50, bro. Thank you.
Damn, dog. $50 make me holla, baby. Love that shit, dog. I love that shit, dog. Bro, so let me finish my thought. When I was thinking about it, I was like, hell no, bro, that's not silver, because silver don't shine like that. It don't pop like that. Silver does not pop like that. Silver is a hard, you can get it from the jeweler. I get it from my boy D. Leo the jeweler. He just popped it and this and that. And I'm like, damn, dog, I hope it stays like this, because it almost looks like white gold. You know what I mean? Because it's shiny, but you just wear it one night and you motherfucking little smoke get on it and all that shit just dolls the fuck out, bro. But that shit pops, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
Shit's nice, bro.
Thank you.
Butterfly. Talk to me about the butterfly, bro.
Well, the butterfly represents my mother. When she passed, we always had this conversation. My mom was an atheist at the end, so she had no beliefs, and she would tell me, "There's a such thing as heaven or hell. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna tell you all about it." You know what I mean? So if I could come back to you, I will come back to you. So when she passed, my mother passed of congestive heart failure, and she had gone into a coma on July the 5th, actually. And the 5th is Chamarita's birthday.
Yeah.
So Chamarita, it was her turn to be with my mother. I had to work that day. And so I had just gotten off of work, and I went to go see, my mom. I went to the hospital. And I could tell Chamarita had been outside, crying and crying. She waited for me. So she's smoking her cigarette, she's crying. And I'm waiting for her to tell me. She's like, your mom. I'm like, my mom what? And she goes, your mom. I'm waiting for her to tell me your mom just passed. And she goes, your mom's been in a coma all day and she doesn't even know I'm here, And I don't know what, So I got my visitor's pass, went straight up to her room. And I don't know what made me say it, but I go, hey, Shorty, I go, what's this? I hear you're ready to check out on me. I go, you can't leave without telling me goodbye. And my mom just lifted up her head with Chamarita as my witness and said, I ain't going nowhere without you, without seeing you first. And I remember Chamarita's look was like, what the hell just happened? Like, what just happened? And then the nurses in there, all these Filipino nurses came out of nowhere and they were crying and they were like, it's a miracle. They said they had never seen anything like that. So my mom came out of it like that when she heard my voice. So, we're talking and, I go, man, not to mention my mom was in ICU for I don't know how long, probably about 3 weeks. So I go, God, Mom, you really gave us a scare. We thought you were ready to go. And then she goes, come on, Frankie, you really think? She goes, these are her exact words, Lucky. She goes, I'm a bitch, but I'm not that bad of a bitch. She goes, you think I'm going to die today of all days? And I go, what's today? I just played it off, right? Like, what's today? And she goes, you don't know what today is? And I go, no, what's so special about today? And she goes, come on, Frankie, today it's Juliet. That's Chamarita's real name. She goes, it's Juliet's birthday. And she goes, you don't know that? Which I did. And then after I go, okay. She goes, so after visitation, she goes, take her somewhere nice. So I said, wow, I will. I go, how could she even know it's your birthday? So the following day, it's my turn to stay with my mom, and Chamarita went to work. And I get a call from the hospital. They're telling me my mom went back in a coma, and I guess it's a different staff. So they're telling me that, you might want to hurry up and come, and it won't be long now. And, they're giving me all this rundown. And, my mom wasn't on, she wasn't like hooked up to a machine or nothing like that. It was just she had congestive heart failure and her lungs were really, really bad, like really bad. So she was, the only thing she was hooked up was air, and air, to help her breathe. So I remember I would get her Ben and Jerry's ice cream, before I would, go see her. So I'm still taking my time, and they're calling me and telling me we might want to get here quick. So when I finally got there, she was in a coma, and I go, it's probably a different, I was saying when they called me, I go, it's probably a different shift. My mom's going to wake up like that. She did it, the day before. So, she's going to snap out of it. But when I went there, she didn't, So I don't know what made me sing the song. They didn't even really one of my songs, but it's that Mama, You're the Queen of My Heart by Boyz II Men. So I sang it to my mom while I was holding her, and she took her last breath in my arms, and she passed. So when she passed, it was weird, Lucky, because she took a breath. I finished the song. She passed. She threw up on me. When she threw up on me, it was like an antifreeze, like a color of like that what you see in The Exorcist. And if that's how people expire or pass away, the process is throwing up immediately, or they say sometimes everything just goes right through you. The nurse would know that. The nurse came up to me and goes, "Oh, your mom threw up? Oh, let me clean her up." And she went and got like this suction thing, like a little vacuum to clean her up. And I go, "No, it's okay." And then she realized my mom wasn't breathing. So she's panicked, called whatever they call that, code blue or whatever they call. And they all came in and tried to revive her. And I go, "It's okay, it's all right, she's gone. And then, so I just, I hung out with her. They let me chill with her for a little bit. And I questioned what that was, what she threw up on me, and I'll get back to that in a minute. So days go by, and probably about a day or two, and I'm doing stuff to keep busy around the house. So I start cleaning out the garage, and this butterfly comes in and lands on me, and it charged me like a bee, and I ain't trying to get stung by a bee. So I thought it was a bee, and then it flew from me to the clothesline that we have. Because my mom was old school. She would wash. We didn't have a dryer, and she would hang them on the clothesline, with clothespins. So at that time, I guess I thought I was trying to believe in something, like that's her. You know what I mean? Anything. I think if a cat would have came up, I probably would have been like, that's her. So I talked to the butterfly. I just said, "Hey, Mom, if that's you, I'll be all right. Just don't leave me. Stick around." So the butterfly flapped her wings and then took off. Like we were talking. So I go, was it her? Was it? Do I want it to be her? Of course I did. So Chamarita comes home that day from work, and I didn't even get to tell her my story. And she goes, at lunchtime, it was the weirdest thing happened to me. I'm like, what's that? And she goes, I was smoking a cigarette, and this butterfly came. And I look at her, and I go, a butterfly? Now, I'm hoping, Lucky, that she's going to tell me it's anything but that kind of butterfly. I'm hoping for, I don't want to hear that I don't want to hear that it's the same butterfly. I want to hear it's something different, So I go, what kind of butterfly was it? And she goes, I don't know. I think they're called monarchs. I'm like, oh, shit. I go, well, what about it? What happened? She goes, it came and it flew and it landed on my pack of cigarettes. She goes, and when it landed on my pack of cigarettes, she goes, I just felt your mother and started crying. I'm like, oh, shit, she's back. Like, oh, shit. So still, I mean, it's a coincidence, right? It's a coincidence, right?
Nah,
it's a coincidence, okay? So, I'm like, all right, So I still don't tell her. So about a day goes by. I get this drawing, from the fellas in prison. And, I have a big, huge prison art collection, what I had told you. And throughout the years, everything that I've collected, nothing has ever had anything to do with a butterfly. Yeah. Okay? And this one came from, the shoe in the bay. So contact of, no one knows my mother just passed. No one, I get a picture of this jaguar holding a monarch in his hand. And I'm like, wow, what are the odds of that? Still don't tell Chamarita anything. Nothing. Now I get a letter from Long Beach Memorial where my mother passed. And they want me to come to this luncheon for grieving family members that are going through what I'm going through. And I'm in denial. And I'm like, I don't need to go to this. I'm cool. Yeah. So I tossed the letter. Letter comes back the next day. I tossed the letter with Juliet Chamarita as my witness. that letter kept getting tossed till it finally got ripped up. And I thought she made a copy. And something I even got mad at her and I go, I don't need this. I'm not, because it said, come to our barbecue and talk, a luncheon barbecue and talk with other family members that lost loved ones that are going through what you're going through. Share your memories and your stories, which I'm doing now. And the bottom that I kept missing was an experience a butterfly release ceremony. So now, when is it? We're going. So I ended up going, and the lady that put this together was, I guess, my mother's social worker that was in the room with her. Because I remember when she kept telling me, it won't be long now. Your mother's going to, it won't be long. Just spend your time with her. It won't be long.
She's in
and
hospice.
She let me, yeah. And I had asked her, she was like, I knew you'd be here. And then I told her, I got so many questions. And then after she goes, the butterflies, and then she laughed and she gave me a pamphlet. And the pamphlet said, like, indigenous people, Hindus, the Aztecs, Japanese, different people believe that our loved ones, when they pass on, they come back in a butterfly form and visit us. So all the answers were in that pamphlet. And I go, you won't believe what I've been experiencing, And then I go, you ain't gonna believe it, or you're not gonna believe this. So, I gave her the rundown, and she goes, you're here for a reason. I'm glad you're here. And I did exactly what I said I didn't need. I'm sharing stories with complete strangers that just lost a father, or or a son, or whatever it may be, and we're talking about death. And that's what a lot of my stories pertain with is death, because people ask me. They even asked me that in Japan through a translator, like, what keeps me going? What keeps my sanity? And I pretty much, like I told you, just living for the ones that are no longer here.
Yeah.
So that was the story with the butterfly. And since then, I've been getting visits since my mother passed. So I'm not a guy that played with butterflies as a kid. I never breeded them or raised them or trained them.
Yeah.
It just made me a believer, and I'm fortunate to document and video a lot of it. So you'll see it on my Instagram or Chamaritas, the visits that we get, and that's real.
Wow, that's powerful, bro. Yeah. And I believe, I'm a believer like that too. And but just talk about the weave of it, bro. To really just like, bro, we're hollering at you. Mom's hollering at you. You know what I mean? Like, bro,
definitely.
This shit and the connection that you had with your mom, bro, is just, I said earlier, love story, man.
Yeah, I went.
That whole hospital thing, bro, is crazy, dog.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
So back to where I said she threw up on me, right?
Yeah.
So from that point on, I adopted a spiritual side, I guess you could say, and learned a lot, because I remember I researched it and I told people my story, and I was like, what is that? And they go, well, your mother lived with a demon inside of her. And once a person passes on, it can't live in, somebody that has passed, so it's moved to the next person. You were there. Did you notice all these changes once your mother passed? And I said, man, yes, because during that time, Lucky, when I did the CD, it was during the MySpace era. And I remember people would hit me up on MySpace, and the questions weren't like, oh, you rap or anything to do with music. It was all pertaining to death. People telling stories, and I'm like, do I have that written on my face? I didn't put no stories out there or pictures, about me and my mother.
Damn,
you know
bro.
what I mean? So it's like, how can you ask me these kind of questions when I never even put that out there?
You know what, bro?
Now I'm out there, of course.
Bro, let's be real about this shit, dog. You know what I mean? Let's be real about this. I don't know how far back in your lineage, your bloodline, bro, but someone in your family did something horribly wrong fucking centuries ago, bro.
Oh, yes.
Bro, somebody did something, bro.
I was told that, Lucky. I was told that.
I'm not trying to I want you to have a great year, bro. Just swear to you, bro. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like,
I was told I was cursed while I was in the womb.
Jeez.
Word for word. And Chamarita was with me because, one time I told Chamarita we went for a table reading. A table reading is nothing like a reading like cards. It was a movie part that I had gotten. And we had to go for the reading. So you go through the whole script with the whole cast. And I remember I told Chamarita, I go, hey, I'm going out to this table reading, and at that time I was going through a lot of changes, and me and Chamarita were,
up and down. Yeah.
Thanks to me.
Yeah.
And I told her, I go, you wanna come with me? And, she's like, yeah, I'll take you. I go, well, you got to wait in the car because I was just me with all the actors. So we did the table reading. So then after that, I said, you know what? I go, we're out here in North Hollywood. I go, have you ever been out this way? She's like, no, okay. Apparently, I haven't been out this way. Why don't you pick a fortune teller? Anyone right here. So we're driving down Sepulveda Boulevard. She picks, we'll go to that one. The minute we walk in there, the lady comes out. She shakes my hand. She gets shocked, And then after, she's like, whoa. I go, you felt that. She goes, why are you here? And I'm like, you're the fortune teller. You know why I'm here. And then I go, I want you to read me and her. And then she goes, I'll read both of you. I'll read her for free. And I said, okay, cool. And then I go, I want you to tell her everything, what I'm going through. And then she goes, everything? I go, everything. So she read and she told me that I was cursed when I was in the womb, that my dad had a curse put on him by a lady that was in love with him. And she's still alive to this day. And that's where all the luck and things went downhill. She goes, but you're always protected. You're protected by the ones that have passed on. And I'm like, wow, how do I deal with this? And then it goes back to what my mother, remember, the why I had you on the 12th?
Yeah.
Because she brought something up and she goes, you attract a lot of women, but you attract the wrong women.
Yeah.
And then after I go, well, wouldn't it be cool for a single guy? And then she goes, yeah, but they want something from me that, your energy that you're just going to be drained and, you're going to be dead. So she goes, you need to learn how to say no to women. Apparently your father didn't, and that's what got him. Do you want to end up like that? And she said a lot of things that made sense, So I've done the cleansings, the limpias, you name it. You're hearing the whole spiritual side. I've never really spoke on this. A lot of people know what I do or what I practice or what I believe in, but I've never actually said it on somebody's podcast. So you're hearing it firsthand.
You believe in?
I'm open to all religions. You know what I mean? I believe in God, but I'm also was baptized in the Santeria and along with some other religions as well. Yeah. So if anybody comes up to me and wants to pray for me, which they have, I've been approached by Hindus, Gypsies, Cubanos, everything. But Chamarita as a witness, I don't turn down a prayer. I'm like, oh no, thank you. I appreciate that. So, and I do pray because people trip out. They'll come to me and ask me to pray for somebody. And I always tell them, I go, I am going to pray for you. I don't say who I'm praying to, but I am praying for you.
Yeah. No, absolutely, bro. And you know what? Whatever makes people, keeps people good, bro. You feel me? Whatever keeps, if this is what you want to believe in it, bro. Whatever keeps, man, because there's just a lot of different things that people believe in and they praying in, and who knows, maybe it's all the same, going to the same route, one up or bottom, or something. You feel me?
Yeah.
I don't really pass no judgment, bro. But the way I keep myself safe from it, this is what I wanted to get to, is I hold my head up high, bro. You know what I mean? And it don't ever fuck with me, even if it can be a little bit of just whoop-de-whoop-whoop, that I'm just like, really ain't my style, dog. You know what I mean? But I respect it. You know what I mean? I always respect it, bro. If this is what keeps you good and keeps you moving, you know what I mean? Respect, you know what I mean? But it's just not my thing,
Right.
But I don't know, bro. Old school values always comes with religion, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But that's just a whole different, kind of some of the stuff you're talking about, bro. It's a little. I
was raised a Catholic, baptized, but as far as it went, I think I was baptized in the Catholic Church, and I never did catechism. And it's sad to say I've never been to a mass. So the only masses I've been to is when homie passes.
When a person passes, where do they go?
That my belief. I don't know if there's a heaven or hell. I have no idea. I go to the cemetery because I made a promise to my mother. Okay. But we know they're not there. We know they're not in the ground. But I look forward to the cemetery because that was the last place you seen them and when they were laid to. My mom was real religious on that. We have 20 family members that we take to and homies that are at. My list keeps getting longer and longer. And I take to 20 of them at the cemetery. And I do it during the holidays, mainly the holidays, because I can't do it every week, but I do it during the holidays. And that was a promise that I made to my mother. She was like, You know, if you don't take them flowers during the holiday, Christmas, Easter, Valentine's, she goes, I'm gonna come back and haunt you. So I kept that promise. You know, my mom was cremated because she said she didn't want to be buried in the ground and have all the worms on her eating her up. And I'm like, Mom, when you go in the ground, you're gonna go somewhere else. I mean, I hope we're gonna go somewhere else. So I don't know to answer that question. I mean, I feel that they're still around us. They're still floating around us.
Yeah.
They're watching over us. You know, you might have somebody that passed away, a brother or sister that might be right behind you, just with that hand on your back right now. You know, watching over every move you make. You know, because I don't miss my mother because I know she's still here. You know, so to answer your question, where do they go? They never leave us.
I think the whole cemetery thing is just a real tribal thing, bro. If you really think about it, it's tribal, bro. I mean,
Meaning like tribal, like what?
Tribal in the sense of just like you're going and paying homage to
The last place that they were laid to.
It's really tribal in a sense.
I mean, I was hoping to do something like that in my backyard. You know what I mean? Put a little plaque right there in the backyard for her, somewhere to go to remember that person or take them flowers. Yeah.
Dress it up, make it look nice.
Yeah. But you know, they're not there. Their bones are. Their soul isn't, you know. I feel they're still with us.
Such a crazy... No, I believe the same thing too, brother. I really do. I'm very spiritual, and I know sometimes, like, you can feel them. There's energies in a room. You feel me? You know, or some certain things happen, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like, damn, they're here still with us. They might be guiding us, you know what I mean? They might have a half step back, you know? And the half step backwards saved your ass from, you know what I mean? Bop, whatever the fuck it might be. I don't know. Yeah, but anyways, it's bro. I mean, it's just such a weird thing. Like heaven, you keep on acting stupid like you're going to hell. You know what I mean? There's a dude down there with a pitchfoot and he's naked and he's got red paint all over him. You know what I mean? You know, I'm just
I've heard it. He's got a mustache.
He's got a mustache like this, and too. You know what I mean?
I haven't heard that, but he said he's got a mustache a certain way. And
Casey, bro.
You know, Casey.
He's got religious pictures in his house, bro, and it's just like, bro, what is the devil up there with a big dick? Knew you were a devil worshiper, penis lover. Sorry about that, dog. Religion is just so crazy, bro. Yeah. It's just, bro. I believe this, and I don't want to fucking burn you out on this, bro. But I believe this, bro. I think we all have a little bit of God in us, bro. You feel me? We all have a little bit of God in us. Have you ever tried being negative for a whole week, bro? Walk around being a negative motherfucker, bro. And you know what? Negative is going to get you some negative ass shit. You're going to be arguing with everybody, bro. You're going to be having a bad fucking day, getting along with nothing, you know what I mean? Everything, fucking sky's falling. But if you walk around happy as fuck, dog, and you're smiling and good morning, you know what I mean? And bop, and this and that, bro, you gonna get that shit back. Not all the time. Sometimes it could be fucked up. Like, damn, I woke up feeling good and the shit went to fucking whoop-de-whoop, right? You know, I woke up good, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you wake up mad and then shit goes bad, you're like, well, I knew it was gonna be a fucked up day. Energy. I believe God is energy.
Energy is everything. And you attract other people's negative energy. Sometimes you bring it with you.
And it's a crazy power because if you can really just fucking dial in that good energy, bro, man, homie, you gonna be at 99 bottles every single weekend, dog. Straight up, bro. No, I'm just fucking with you. But that's good energy, bro.
Yeah. No, it is.
Keep on having to come back. They fuck with homie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a good, obviously, like I've never been to a party with him, but apparently he's the guy to have at the parties, you know what I mean? You know?
Thank you.
So that, I mean, you shit, homie. They'll be like, MC Poncho's this and that, blah, 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 but I'll be like, dog, he's at every party every weekend, bro, you know what I mean? You're the only one that feels like that. Shut up, bro. You know what I mean? You know?
Maybe you should party with me.
Yeah, man. But hey, check it out. We are 3 hours in. Mr. MC Poncho, thank you so much, brother. That shit was dope, bro.
This was therapy for me.
Oh, no. I mean? Yeah, me
this
too,
was
bro.
therapy for me. And, you know, thank you, Lucky, for, you know, having me on here. And like I said, I've been watching you and Casey from day one.
Yeah,
you
man.
know, off and on. And Chamarita, I loved you, you know, right off the bat.
Thank you,
know
fam.
I mean?
Thank you so much.
You know, I had been putting this off because I really didn't plan on, I don't know, I guess talking. It's a new year, and the connection that you and I had, you know, through that message.
Yeah.
You know, that's just the beginning, brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Lay all the time, my dog. And I always tell my girl, bro, because she's supposed to come, but the kids start school tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Okay.
The school starts tomorrow.
Oh, from the Christmas vacation or
Yeah,
I don't know what they call it now. Winter vacation.
Yeah. And so they go to school tomorrow, but she wanted to go. I said, man, his wife's gonna be there, pull up, we'll watch them. But anyway, she was just like, nah, I gotta make sure they get off to school right. But I always tell her, man, bro, we gonna pull up, bro. We gonna chill. I'm gonna come through with my girl.
Yeah, we'll do
my
dinner
girl's
or
cool
something,
as fuck, bro.
you know.
My girl's the opposite of me, bro. The most sweetest person, the chillest person you'll meet. Nobody's mad at her ever, bro. And she's never mad. She don't say nothing bad about nobody. I'll be like, man, fuck that bitch. I mean, she's just like killing dog. Or Diana was having a bad day. Yeah, she was drunk, spitting on everybody, but she hates my sense of humor, bro. She hates it, dude. She hates my sense of humor because I talk shit to this dude. And then she'll be watching and she'll be like, fuck Lucky. I'm going to kill that motherfucker. I'm like this. I'm walking like this. Bro, she hates me, bro. She does, bro. But I love her, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, it's been dope having you. But how can people support you, bro? I mean,
they have been. They follow my stories, and you know, when people, I'm not selling anything. You know what I mean? I'm not promoting anything. So I get people that'll come up to me, and the least people that I even expect follow, and they'll just tell me like, "Hey, I follow you," you know. And I'm like, "Thank you." And then especially when they tell me, you know, about a butterfly or your mother or your father in the service, or so I know they have been. You know what I mean? They'll talk about something like a little personal that I told a story on Instagram about.
You know
and
what,
I'm like,
bro?
Thank you. And I thank you guys for that.
So as your new business agent, bro, you know what I mean? I gotta say this. I gotta say this, bro. Like, bro, it's time to make a move, bro.
I keep hearing that.
It's time to make this type of move, some type of move. A book, bro.
You're talking about making money, damn it.
But a big dog move. You know what I mean? A book, bro. Anything, bro. Something, bro, that has to do with you, bro. Package it right. Figure it out, bro. There's a lot of options
How about a
with you.
bobblehead? Can we do a bobblehead?
That'd be cool, bro. But you have more to offer than a bobblehead, bro.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? You have more to offer, bro. Like the butterfly story is a beautiful story,
Thank
bro.
you. And that just goes on and on. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Still,
but I'm just saying, like short stories, bro. I mean, I read books still. I don't know. I'm old school, guys.
No, I do.
Sorry,
I read.
And I ordered you a book, bro, and it barely got here at 8 o'clock, bro. I flew Amazon, bro. So I'm gonna get it to you, dog. I ordered you a book. I already tell you what the book I ordered you, bro, now.
Really?
Yeah.
How did you know I read?
I didn't know you read, but I read, so I wanted to give you a book that I'm reading right now, and so I ordered it since homie, like, she was supposed to be here, bro, early today, dog.
Wow.
This is it right here. What's delivered today, bro. But
what's the name of it?
It's called this, bro. It's called, good book, bro. It's called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and it's all small stuff.
Wow.
And I'm not saying, like, I don't know if you sweating the small stuff, but this book is such a simplified book, because I read books that sometimes are complicated books that I got to read back because there's medical fucking terms and the frontal, the reptile brain, you know what I mean? Like, I get into some shit where I'm just like, all right, cool, dog. Like, we're born with a reptile brain, bro, which is just like, you know when you're hungry, you know when you're mad, you know what I mean? It's a reptile brain. Like, but this book is so cool, bro, because it just tells you, like, cool stuff, like I was on my Instagram too much, dog, social media. And it's just like, short things, bro, but it's actual story that ties in all together. It's a writer that wrote this shit and told you why he wrote this shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Let me see real quick. Oh, look at who my girl's watching, bro. She's my girl. That's my dog right there. She just texted me that.
Wow. Oh, okay.
She just texted me that. The packages are here. I swear to you, bro. Yeah, my girl. Shout out to my girl. That's my road dog right there. It's the big
Shout out
dog.
to Misty.
Yeah, everybody knows my girl. She cool, bro. She cool. She a crazy ass bitch, though, homie. She drives man, homie. Are we still live? No. Hey, I've been like a good boy lately, bro. You know what I mean? She wake up and I'm reading the Bible and shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, good morning. You know?
That's cool.
Hey, everybody give it up for MC Poncho, baby. Yes, sir, dog. Thank you brother, so much, dog.
Thank you.
That shit's dope, bro. Thanks, dog.
Thank
Give
you.
it up for the boy Casey over there, dog. Hey, it's just not one episode. We are back in the game, dog. Sheesh. Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Hey, we will see you.
2025.
2025.
Shout out to everybody that's been supporting me in Chamarita. Johnny Janelle, I love you. Grouch, Rudy, the whole crew, everybody. 99 bottles. I'm going to bring Lucky. We're going to hang out in the VIP and We're gonna pop some bottles.
I'm down, bro. I act stupid in VIP, bro, because I feel like I'm rich, homie. No, it's fine.
So much love to you all. Thank you for writing it out with us and hearing my story. Thank you.
Yeah.
Some of my stories.
No, that was good, bro. That was good. And
Thank you.
I think for our first podcast together of just chopping it up, nothing planned out really, just say, hey, dog, pull up, I pull up, bro, and we turn the mics on and we'll do what we do, dog, you know what I mean? And that's just like two brothers just chilling out and doing what we do, dog, and we did it good today, dog. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I thoroughly enjoyed the conversations. I respect the story. Thank you for the transparency. Thank you for just being vulnerable right here on the platform, because when you share your private shit, dog, as a grown dude, dog, some dudes, it just takes different dudes to be able to do that, bro, you know what I mean? And I appreciate
you got
that, dog.
some different stories here that nobody's, that I've never shared,
Thank you so much, dog. Hey, we'll see you guys Tuesday night, baby.